instructions in light of the fact that we have a special meeting, and I think there might be some confusion based on when we do public comment on what. We'll have two separate public comment sections, and they won't sort of overlap with each other. Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, so I will cover the bulk of the instructions now. So I'd ask that, I know that some of you have been here multiple times. Please pay particularly close attention to the instructions today, because we do have a separate special meeting. And as the council president has said, there will be an additional period for public comment.
Saved you 76 minutes.
To people providing public comment during the regular meeting, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 2 minutes total for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. And the reason why there's only 2 minutes for the agenda items is because public comment has been satisfied for all of the other items except for the two for which public comment has not been heard. This does not count against any time during the special meeting. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment during this regular meeting are items 13 and 14. So again, the items open for public comment on the agenda are items 13 and 14. If you are here to speak on item number 15, you'll need to wait until after council goes into the special meeting, which was noticed for any time after 11:30 a.m. So again, there will be a separate public comment period during the special meeting. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. A couple more announcements, if I could have the interpreters make the first one allowed to the room, please. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
They cry about Kimmel? I don't know, Brock. I wasn't really listening closely. Wow, BJ, 60 months. Happy Friday. 60 months.
Impressive.
Don't worry. We will pause your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think they were talking about him. I don't think they're talking about him. They're busy knee-bending to all these groups. So get their
a few
votes.
final instructions before we begin. As you can see, we're at a full house today. So in order to help us accommodate as many people as possible, I would ask a few things. First,
King Doe, he should have been gone years before that.
You signed up under,
double
called
blackface
aloud through the speakers before lining
double
up.
Blackface? That should have been it.
The order in which those names are called
Karl
is
Malone and
randomly
Oprah
generated.
Winfrey?
So it's not necessarily the order in which you
Shouldn't
signed
that
up.
have been enough?
But once you hear that name called aloud, you can line up in
show
any
you who's
order
protected.
on your left-hand side of the council chamber.
To show you who's running the show.
Additionally, if you, or as soon as you get to the podium, that you're here for general public comment, and we will start your time for that 1 minute.
Thank you, Base.
Thank you.
I will begin by calling the following names: Jesse G., Candido, Tom Davis, Robert E., and Aaron Taxi.
Aaron Taxi? Is that a real name? Candido, we got the great panderer in there somewhere. Oh, I see him now. He's walking around in his suit. He's in the top corner over there.
And I think I see at least 2 people coming up.
What's up, Cross? Who did they honor? A whole bunch of folks. 5 different sets of people. People with ovarian cancer and a couple other groups.
Good morning. Which item
LA
would you like
Trade
to speak
Tech.
to?
I'll speak on item number 15.
Got
Okay,
recognized.
so again, so item number 15 is not available now because this is the
Could be,
regular
Shane.
meeting.
I doubt it,
You
though.
have 1 minute for general. Anyone, again, if you would like to
sure they're
speak to
probably
item number
union.
15, there will
Union
be a
workers.
separate public comment period at the 11:30.
And I'd be willing to
meeting.
bet as they talk about the expansion of the convention
Go ahead.
center, because that's what they want to
Okay,
do.
so next speaker.
Yeah, they want to expand the convention center, but we have no money. We're broke. They want to rebuild it, of course, so they
Before
can get
the
a
next
ton of money.
speaker begins, I will call the following names: Ken M., Amber Barrett, Vaughn Wheeler, Steve Cho, and Amber Barrett.
Vaughn
Good
Wheeler?
morning. Which items?
Sounds like a baseball
Item 14
player.
in general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 14 and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
All right, fantastic. Good morning, council members. My name is Aaron Taxi, and
Give me
I'm
no
here
sound.
representing the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce and our 650
Refresh.
businesses who employ some 120,000 people across Los Angeles.
not me. I'm not
And
doing
here to
anything.
speak in strong
Refresh.
support of a full convention center modernization and expansion project. We do not want any half measures. We want the full project to go through. This is not just an investment in a building. This is not just an investment in downtown. It's an investment in our entire city. It's an investment in our tourism
I don't know what to do,
economy,
guys.
in our hospitality industry.
Just
The
refresh.
people who come to these conventions will not just stay in downtown. They will head to Venice Beach. They will head to check out the restaurants in Mid-City. And yes, they will come to the Hollywood Walk of Fame to experience the magic. They will patronize our restaurants. They will fill our hotels. And they will uplift our entire economy. This is a critical project to put us in a competitive place in general for conventions and for tourism.
General public comment.
Thank you. But also for our upcoming global
That's YouTube.
events,
That's not
such
me.
as the 2028 Olympics. I strongly urge you to support the full expansion and modernization project. Thank you.
Fixed it for everybody else, guys. So refresh one more time, maybe. How's that? Maybe
So-
2 times is a charm.
I will call up more names: Manny P., Dan M., Hira Kapoor, Morris Rocha, and Navajo Joe.
Where are any of the real speakers? And where did Candido go? I heard his name called, but he didn't come up. So where's Candido? Yeah.
I will read a few more names to come up to the podium to speak: Sid Bernard, Hillary Norden, Nolan Marshall, Stuart Waldman, and Carlos Cota.
Is there any of the people that signed up in this fucking room? Apparently not. Nobody's walking up. Yet they've read off 10 names. Oh, there's one.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak
Is
to?
that Carlos Cota?
General comment and number 14.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Hira Kapoor, and I represent I'm here as a resident of downtown Los Angeles and Los Angeles, and I'm speaking in support of the full redo of the Los Angeles Convention Center. I think
told
it's
you.
imperative that we do the whole scope of the convention center. The convention center is pivotal, and it's actually a moneymaker for the city of Los Angeles. We have to remember FIFA World Cup is coming, and so is the 2028 Olympics. So it is pivotal that we look at the entire scope. I also am on the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, and we have done 3 CISs in support of the full scope of the convention center. So I really recommend that you take this seriously and look at the people behind me, because they are here for jobs, and they need their jobs, and they want their jobs, and the LA Convention Center offers them those jobs.
General public comment.
Of course, we have
Sorry,
no money,
everybody
but that
behind
doesn't
me.
matter.
Go ahead.
Everybody
You-
behind me took the time today to come and speak to you about the convention center. The convention
knew
center
it.
is pivotal for Los Angeles.
Why?
You guys cannot miss this opportunity to change the scope of Los Angeles and actually put us back on the world stage. And if you don't do this, you will miss an amazing opportunity. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, just more unions needing to get their union dues.
What kind of person to say a toe-to-so?
Before
You know
the
what?
next
A
speaker
toe-to-so.
begins, I will
A
call up
fucking
a few more
toe-to-so.
names to come up to the podium: Neela McOsker, Sergeant Gunny, Kurt
McOsker?
Peterson, Greg Reeves, Alec Mesropian, and Adam Burke.
Any
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good
Any
morning.
relation
Item
to
14 in
Buckethead?
general.
Okay. You have 1 minute for
The
the
odds
item
on your
and
name
1 minute for general.
being
Go
the
ahead.
same as his, McOscar.
Good morning. My name is Nolan Marshall. I am the president and CEO of the Social District. The Social District is the home of the Convention Center, LA Live, and the South Park neighborhood. We've been here many times supporting this project, and I have never seen for a project that we've supported as diverse a group of constituents as is behind me today. This project is critical economic development infrastructure, which I think is a distinction that's worth making. You all have been weighing the impact on the general fund for this project, but with other economic development infrastructure projects, those aren't the metrics that you use at all. At least those aren't the metrics that are used anywhere else in the country. This project will produce $6 billion in labor wages. That's a 2-to-1 investment ratio.
Thank you, Jorge.
This project will produce $15 billion in economic output. That's a 5-to-1 ratio.
General?
This project will produce 3-to-1 in GDP. Those are what we normally weigh economic infrastructure projects on, not return to general fund. It's imperative that we improve this project. I would even say it's malpractice given those numbers and given the state of the city if we just look away from that kind of economic impact.
Why is this
I
idiot
would be
wearing a
remiss
mask?
if I didn't recognize
This
that
guy right
there's certainly a chance of failure if we move this project forward. We could not get this project done. But turning around at the finish line is an admission
Doesn't
of
he feel weird
failure.
being the only
It's
one in
an
the room
acceptance
wearing
that
one?
we've already failed before we've even tried.
Feel weird?
Councilmember McOscar this morning said that there is
Thank
no
you, Billy.
constituency for the future, but I beg to differ just a little bit. I'm raising a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old 3 blocks from the convention center. And they've seen me do this work in New Orleans and Dallas and in Vancouver. And my 9-year-old wanted to be here today so he could tell you all that you would be crazy not to do this.
Lucky, Billy.
You have to do this project now.
Did it twice, Barbie. 2 times.
Good morning, council members. My name is Hillary Norton from FastLink DTLA, and I'm also here to testify on behalf of Move LA as a CCA director. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Convention Center expansion and modernization and urge you to support it. Improving the Convention Center, which will bring at least 5 million new visitors each year, not only has positive local funding benefits, but increasing transit ridership to and from the Convention Center will increase federal funding by billions of dollars. We have to build this convention center. I was so disappointed to hear the testimony in committee on Tuesday. I was a council staffer in the 1990s when we recovered from a civil disturbance, we recovered from an earthquake and near bankruptcy, but we also built the beginning of a multi-billion-dollar transit network that serves over 300 million people, and AEG built the Staples Center in 18 months, and it helped LA's economic boom for decades. I urge you to vote in favor of the convention center. Turn LA around from the pattern of no and slow to yes and best.
Of course, Daniel, of course. Oh, there's Candido. I see him now.
Before the next speaker begins, and I thank you everyone for holding your applause till after the speakers are done, just if you could exit to your right-hand side, we're going to just sort of loop everybody in and out.
Your other right. Your other right, Stuart.
Sorry. Yes. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
14 and public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 for each. Go ahead.
We're adults. We don't know our left
Waldman,
from our right.
President of the
But we're
Valley
Democrats,
Industry
so I
and
get that.
Commerce Association, VICA. We are here strongly in support of expanding the convention center. This is something that should have been done a long time ago. It should have been done 2 years ago. We're here now. We can get this done. It benefits every inch of this city. It benefits the valley.
Oh, it's the daughter.
As we have more conventions, bigger conventions, we're able to compete with Orlando and San Diego and Las Vegas and bring more people here. They are going to be coming to every part of this city. They are going to be coming to the valley. They are going to be spending money. This is going to be a job creator that is going to benefit
He passed the bar,
everyone.
but doesn't know his left from his right.
We need to do this. We need to pass this. Hillary said no to low and slow and yes to fast. I don't pay attention sometimes.
Yeah, we don't pay attention because nobody gives a
she
shit what these
said,
people
I
are
agree.
saying.
Let's make it happen, and let's make it happen now.
I want more money, please. I need the money. Give me money. I need monies. Give me money.
Item 14 in
I
public
need
comment.
it.
Okay, so you have 1 for each. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Carlos Cota. I'm an International Vice President for the IATSE and the Department Director for Convention and Trade Show. And you're going to hear a lot on the merits of the Convention Center, but I wanted to offer a kind of unique perspective. Part of my responsibilities in my job function are to travel all over the United States and Canada to work with other cities on developing career pathways, training and education, and then also interaction with industry groups, which, talking about conventions and expansions. What I do want to share with you, and only 1 minute listed here. Do I get 2? Public comment, I'll just keep going.
Doesn't hurt.
So what I want to share with you is every one of our closest competitors that I'm working with while I'm out there is concerned about this project. They know that when LA ups their game, they're going to have to be more competitive, and they're going to be in a less competitive position once this is done. So I'm encouraging you to really look at Los Angeles, everything this city has to offer.
General?
Who knows, Base?
From our international airport to all the areas
You're
that
just gonna go to Vegas,
tourist
right?
attractions that people want to come visit, just the capacity of this city and everything the city has to offer. If we can move this project forward and do it now before we're on the world stage, it's going to be a game changer in the industry. And I just want to let you all know that the entire industry is looking at it. I applaud your efforts to this point and encourage passing this expansion and this investment in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody, Base, and I know, they'll all just go to Vegas. Why would they come here? There's no reason to be here.
Good
It's a
morning.
fucking
Which
toilet
items would you like to speak to?
all
Item
around the
14
convention
in
center.
public comment. My name
Okay.
is Yvonne Wheeler, and I'm the president of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, representing over 800,000 union members in Los Angeles County, including the workers at the Los Angeles Convention Center. And I'm here today to speak in strong support for the Convention Center expansion. LA is a world-class city with deep history of being innovative and leading the world. We're the land of Hollywood, where we teach the world to dream big. We're the city of champions with the Lakers, Dodgers, Rams, Kings, and Sparks. And we're the home of world-class arts, music, and entertainment. And yet, when we look at our convention center, we rank number 21 and dropping. That is unacceptable for a city of champions, and we need to invest in our convention center. And an investment in the convention center is an investment in our future. It is also an investment in the workers and poverty alleviation at a time when Los Angeles is in the midst of a major job crisis. The convention center is home to thousands of permanent full-time union jobs that allow workers to keep a roof over their head and food on their table. In addition, this will create additional thousands of union jobs, for more Angelenos who need an economic lifeline. Workers at the convention center's trade shows can earn up to 6-figure salaries, and these jobs are open to local residents and union apprenticeship programs. With audio-visual work alone, workers get hired at a trade show can utilize their experience to move into a Hollywood set or a live concert at the Hollywood Bowl. This is an investment in careers. The construction jobs to build this expansion have a 50% local hire requirement, and meaning that Los Angeles will build,
or is it tonight?
not only
tonight.
build the work, but they will be employed
Memorial.
locally. And these jobs are at a time when the federal policies have us headed into a recession. I could go on, but as you see, an investment in the convention center is an investment in workers. It's an investment in poverty alleviation. And it's an investment in LA's future. Let's get this done.
Get that money up in here. Yeah, they just want more money. They want to redo the existing convention center, which is old and not very good. People don't come here for anything.
Which items would you like to speak to?
They go to Vegas. They go to San Diego.
Item 14 in public comment.
They go other
Okay, so you have one for each. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. President, esteemed members of the City Council. My name is Ernesto Medrano. I'm the Executive Secretary of the Los Angeles and Orange Counties Building and Construction
Union
Trades
bullies.
Council. I'm also a proud
Those are pimps.
son of Boyle Heights
Union
and a
pimps.
graduate of Roosevelt High School. Go Rough Riders. I'm here representing my fellow 160,000 skilled and trained union construction workers of our 14 trades who shape Southern California. We stand here in support of the Los Angeles Convention Center expansion project. It's not just an investment in the convention center, it's an investment in the careers and long-term success of our local workers and their families. This project will bring over 8,000 local construction, high-skilled, high-wage jobs and over 1,600 new apprentices. These are real careers, not gigs, with health care, a defined pension benefit, a chance at the middle-class California dream. The convention center will kickstart careers for these individuals and drive meaningful change for their families, just as it did for me.
General?
I started my career at the convention center loading and unloading trucks for the trade shows. I was a member of Teamster Local 986 as a casual there. So the opportunity for the convention center to launch the careers for the next generation means a lot to me here. The modernization of the convention center also paves the way for millions of visitors whose spending will bring much needed tax revenue into the city. The vote is a defining moment for our city. The opportunities have had an impact. The scale are few and far in between. In moments like these, our representatives and visionaries decided it was time to lead and think long-term for the health and the viability of our city. Business and labor have come together in support of this project for a reason, because they believe that the transformational influence it can have on our city. Today, Angelenos need the city council to show leadership and make this project a reality. Our members are ready to don their hard hats, their work boots, their tool belt, start moving dirt, and build this convention center. Thank you.
Oh yeah, they've been talking about this for a while now. They came in here 6-8 months ago. They were talking about this then. You know, just like
Good
then
morning.
we were
Which
broke
item would you
then.
like to speak to?
We're still
Item
broke
14
now.
in general public comment, please.
Not making money
So
coming
you
out
have
of the
one
hole.
for each. Go ahead.
We're treading
My name
water
is
at
Nella
best.
McCasker. I run Central City Association. And much like my time, the city of Los Angeles is on the clock. In fact, we might be in overtime with final seconds to go. The project before you today stands to transform our future. The lives of your constituents who want to work, who want their businesses to be open, and who want their potholes fixed. Downtown provides the largest tax base to the city. No other neighborhood brings in TOT or business tax to this degree. The fiscally responsible choice is not to do less right now, is not to wait and debate. It's to put shovels in the ground right now. Thank you to the members who have already committed your yes to this vote. Thank you for believing in the power of business, labor, community, your own city staff. To those still deliberating, don't shrink. Impose tighter controls. Be vigilant. Hold the project team accountable. Hold the departments accountable. But give us confidence in our city and in our future. Let's do this. Thank you.
Brutus.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. Public comment on 14, please.
Okay, so you have one for each. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Adam Burke with the Los Angeles Tourism Board, and as your contractor, my goal is to always ensure that you have the most accurate information on which to base your decisions. To that end, there are two key issues that I'd like to address. First, the city analysis that's been presented to council dramatically understates the additional revenues that the convention center expansion will generate. As referenced in my April 8th letter to council, the data we provided is based on over 40 years of experience booking the convention center, and we've already developed a pipeline of over 90 major conventions who want to host their citywides here in LA post-expansion. That data has been provided to Oxford Economics, who prepared a comprehensive analysis that you've received. To clarify, Oxford Economics was founded in 1981 through partnership with Oxford University School of Business and are globally recognized as one of the most reputable and respected economic consulting firms in the world. The city's analysis suggests that by more than doubling the amount of our convention center, we would only see an additional 50,000 attendees annually. That figure represents the total attendance of just 1 to 2 major conventions, understating the economic upside by 10 to 20 times. In fact, within the first 5 years post-expansion, our community will see over 2,400 new jobs, $3.7 billion in new local business sales, and $157 million in new general fund contributions to offset expansion costs. Second, it's critical to understand that this is not just a downtown project. It is vital civic infrastructure that will drive economic benefit to every single council district, with 49,000 Angelenos relying on these conventions for their livelihoods.
Really, Michael?
For the long-term health of our regional economy, I implore you, let's not let this generational opportunity pass us by. Thank you for your
Because
support.
they pack it in on Fridays with all the presentations. So that's why our regulars are usually sitting outside. They go in, sign up, and leave, and then come back.
14 in general.
Okay, so you have one for each. Go ahead.
Good morning, committee, fellow workers, members, board, and staff. My name is Amber. I'm a proud LA native. I am also a dedicated single mother to a sophomore honor roll student in the LAUSD. I will soon be celebrating my second year as an apprentice with the local 831, working as a trade show installer and decorator at the LA Convention Center. Joining this trade has been life-changing, especially financially. It has given me the ability to provide more of a stable and comfortable life for my child. Living less than 10 miles from the convention center, and the proposed expansion represents more than just growth for the facility. It also means increased opportunities for myself, my fellow union members, and the entire community. More work means greater financial security for our families and economic benefits for surrounding businesses. On behalf of Local 831 and all of our other local unions, I proudly express our full support for the expansion. We believe it will have a lasting positive impact on workers, businesses, and the city as a whole. Let's continue to make LA great. Thank you for your consideration.
Good morning. Which items?
Good morning. General and public comment on item number 14.
Okay, so you have one for each. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. Good morning,
Boy,
council
Cash
members.
is a
Happy Friday.
scammer.
My name is Steve Cho. I'm the dual general manager for the Moxie and AC Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Today's a unique day. If you look behind us here, we have the room represented with business and labor, and that doesn't happen too often where we're on the same side of a topic. And today is one of those items that I think is an impact for not only for business and labor, but for everybody in the city. On top of all the great advocating comments that were already made in advance, I can't urge you enough to vote yes on the convention center expansion, as it not only will create more jobs and add economic impact to the city, but additionally add additional investments into the city that currently are at a halt. So we look forward to seeing future investments come into the city with investors based on the expansion approval today. So I wanted to thank you all in advance for your yes votes.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, sir. Thank you. I'm here on item 14 in public comment, the convention center.
One for each. Go ahead.
Audit LA.
One of the things that I've been luckiest to be part of was watching the convention center back in the 70s being built. We own property at 1350 East 17th. And then we had another piece of property off of Pico and Figueroa, which were taken from us. But watching the workers back then, I see the same energy here with the union here, ready to take a convention center that's probably a 10, go to a 1. And I think we can do that. It's time that we do that. This city deserves a convention center that it can be proud of. And I hope that you folks will do that for us, make us proud of this city. And thank you guys for being here.
Panderer,
I want to
baby.
go on to public comment.
Okay,
Ms.
so you have 1 minute.
Ms. Padilla, you don't listen to me, but I want to thank you for what you did for a Water and Power employee, Mr. Serrano. You folks didn't know him. Richard Serrano worked for Water and Power. He was here all the time. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. He was always challenging Mrs. Padilla, but you, ma'am, you honored him with dignity, and you helped us who still suffer from the ugliness of Miss Nuri Martinez and her predecessor. You gave us hope that maybe out of the 6th district, we have a chance of having a person like Mr. Inardi Bernardi back, who served us for 32 years. So thank you for looking at me, because maybe tomorrow I may criticize you like I'll go after John Lee for abandoning Old Porter Ranch. But thank you for honoring a DWP union member who was here trying to make the city great. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Imelda Paldea, sniffer. One's always sniffing.
Before the next speaker begins, I would like
Milkers.
to call up for public comment
Ian's
Elisa
girlfriend.
Diaz and Gordy G.
Good morning. Which items? Can we So if you could adjust the mic, just pull it up just a little bit so we can hear you. Thank you.
Man, you guys are
Okay,
fucking
good morning.
carpenters.
My name is Sidney Berard. I'm a proud retired member of the Sheet Metal Workers Union, Local 105. And I live in Council District 11 in Ladera. And I'd like to speak directly to Tracy Park, council member. I was at your community meeting Sunday at Pan's Restaurant, and I'm part of a block club, Flores Avenue, with Daphne Bradford, who supports you all the way.
So monotone.
I worked at this trade for many decades, and the only reason I was able to raise my family, buy a home, and retire with security in your district is because of major projects like this one here at the convention center. These projects have created steady careers that keep people like me working all year long. Today, I'm here to support not myself, but my brothers and sisters in the trade who are looking for the same chance I had. I urge you to stand with us, your constituents, to support this project. Thank you very much.
That's Mr. Sachs, Barry. We haven't seen him here in a long time. Hopefully he's all right.
I will call up two more names to the podium, Taylor and Blair Beston.
Fucking A. Just shoot me out of being this shit. Waste 2 hours of my day for this shit. So now we're 45 minutes in and ain't nothing got done for the city. Nothing has gotten done for the city. Nothing.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Could I touch on 14 and general public comment?
Same idiot that's
Yes,
been
you have 1 minute
protesting
for
for a
each. Go
month
ahead.
outside of the...
So for 14, I just want to say I'm in favor. I think investing in Los Angeles and investing in the people is a good idea, especially with the big, beautiful bill, HR 1 and Project 2025 coming through the pipelines. With those bills, with those projects, unions, labor, wages, healthcare, that's all under attack. So let's give our people the chance to save and fight back and be secure while we still can. Which brings me to general public comment. My general public comment is, I'm not seeing a whole lot of support from the city. It's amazing watching these other cities really put their people first and really write executive orders that protect the First Amendment right.
Now
they
you
have
care about First
executive
Amendment.
orders where the police officers are not working and aiding and abetting with ICE. They're not involved in that investigation at all. I know our small businesses, I know our neighbors are struggling with rent and struggling with wages. They don't feel safe going outside. They don't feel safe going to work.
You don't go to work.
And someone like me, it's hard to work with
I
everything
bet.
that's going on right now. So maybe raising the
know, you're
unemployment
so
rate
oppressed,
would be
you
wise
can't
right
get
now.
to work.
Again, let's give our people a chance to fight back. In addition, it's the brave protesters that got us all of these union rights, that got us the weekend, that got us the right to vote, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's not discard them now.
You're fired.
You need a bath and a job, ma'am, like I told you a month ago.
Good morning.
Good
Which
morning.
item?
General public comment and item number 14.
But you won't be getting
Okay, so
either
one
of
for
those.
each.
I have a sneaking suspicion.
Blair Beston with the executive director of the Historic Core Business Improvement District. Thank you for hearing me today, council members. You heard a lot of statistics that in support of the convention center that are compelling on their own. We cannot keep our beautiful city even remotely supported. We cannot keep our streetlights on. We cannot fix our sidewalks, and these are facts. But if we cannot understand the exponential value of capital investment, attracting tourism, more investments, and putting ourselves at the top of the list of cities,
Why don't you help her out,
if
Big
we cannot
Francis?
understand the
stop talking to
benefit
me
of
and go help her out?
exponential
Give her
revenue
some
growth,
cash.
then we're more lost
She won't do
than
that.
anyone
We know that.
imagined. Los Angeles has evidence that it reacts, but it seldom plans ahead.
Be a leader.
It's time we stop
Show me
that
the right
modus
way.
operandi that has led us to this devastating point and change course. People love to claim that Los Angeles is anti-business,
General?
and we don't make nearly enough decisions to prove that claim wrong. More importantly, the constant closures that we're seeing of businesses, these are immigrant-owned, these are women-owned businesses, these are legacy-owned businesses, and these are the businesses that make our city special. It's time we invest in our beautiful city's future and send the message to other investors that Los Angeles is worth it. Thank you.
Well, thanks to the people you might have voted for, I don't think so. They shut all those businesses down for quite a long time.
Council
Right?
President,
Never
that's
helped
all
them
the
out.
speakers for the allotted time.
All right, thank you so much for everybody who spoke during this section of public comment.
now we get
Madam
another
Clerk,
section
what's
of public
before us at this
comment.
time?
Mr. President, council
Love people
can
who just
now vote on
blurt
item
that shit
13,
out.
sir.
All
Especially
right.
the ones that want to
Let's
help
open the
these
roll
people
on
but never
13,
help them.
Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Don't worry about what
13
I'm
ayes.
saying. Go help.
All right, what's next?
Be the difference.
Next, council
Lead by
may
example.
now vote on item
You won't be doing
14
that.
as amended by motion Harris Dawson McCosker.
All right, let's
There will
open
be
the roll on
zero
this item.
propping up of
Close
fake
the roll,
oppression.
tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
She's oppressed. I'm the Pope.
What's next?
This is live from
Next,
Vatican City.
Council can vote on item 8, which was amended by motion Park McCosker.
None of the mental illness will be
All right.
propped up.
Let's open the roll on this
Won't be propped
item
up
as
here.
amended by Council Members Park and McCosker. Close the roll, tabulate
Over
the
to
vote.
CNN if you want it propped up for you.
13 ayes.
Poor little trans shooter. They were just
All right,
a
what's
young
next?
couple in love.
Mr. President, would council like to recess the regular meeting and convene the special, sir?
Yes.
Go over
Shall
there.
I
They'll
call
hold
the
your
roll,
hand
sir?
for you.
Yes, please.
Blumenfield, Harris Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Hirado, Lee, McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto
He is,
Martinez,
Terry.
Yaroslavsky, 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, what
420th Pope.
what items are before us?
Pope 420.
Mr. President, item 15 is an item
I don't
for
know,
which
Jerry, you
public
haven't been
hearing
checked.
has been held. Note for item
You offering your
15 is
services?
Corrected Economic Development and Jobs Committee report.
know people get
as
offended
well
when
as the
they hear
Budget
the
and
truth.
Finance Committee report have been submitted, circulated, and available online under Council File 15-1207-S1.
All right, before Mr. Zabel comes forward, Mr. City Attorney, believe we have public comment for this section. If you can prepare us for
Didn't
that.
say smoking.
Yes, and before I do that, I believe that there have been a few amendments that have been circulated already. But if we could have the members who introduced them or have sent them to the CLA, just introduce them orally into the record.
Like his
I
hair in the
believe,
back is jacked
They
up
have
still.
been or will be posted
What's
on the
going on in
bulletin
the
board
back?
shortly.
How come
so I
it's got
have
its
15.
It's like it's got its own life.
I think C and 15D.
Hey, bro, you need to stop the part or something. Just comb that fucker back so you have a giant cannonball.
So I believe
Instead
15A
of a
is
split
a
in the
motion
cannonball.
from Councilmember Jurado.
No, correction. 15A is
Nobody
the
cares,
economic
Big Francis. Why don't you
development
go over there and
jobs
cry
report.
with them?
15B
Guys can cry
is
on
the
each other's
Budget and Finance
shoulders.
Committee
Fucking
report,
simp.
and those are on the agenda.
You're a simp.
However, 15C is motion Gerardo
You know what?
Price.
I've had enough of you. We'll make
As
another
well
account.
as there is also a 15D,
We'll make another
and that
account,
is
kid.
motion Harris Dawson, McCosker, Hutt,
try to kill
Price, Nazarian, and seconded by Councilmember
I want
Herrera.
commies in my room.
So members of the public, if you would like to take a look at those amendments before public comment or during
Or
public
their
comment,
sympathizers
they should be
or
available on the
minions.
bulletin board on your right-hand side of council chambers. And with that, I will give a very brief overview of the public comment period during
Goodbye.
this special meeting. So because this is a special meeting, there is no general
Deported.
public comment, but you can have 1 minute for the item that is
Right,
on there,
right,
and that
just
is
got
the
deported.
only item, that is item 15, which is related to the LA City Convention Center expansion project. So, if you would like to speak on that item, we would ask that you please, to the extent you have not done so already, sign up at the kiosks in the back, and I believe...
I want to tell you, He was
read
averaging
names.
what was it,
That, again, will be called at
169,000
random.
viewers or
So
something per
please
show?
wait till you hear the name that you signed up
You
under.
do realize that
called
Smoke and
aloud,
Scan gets about
before
50 to
lining up
70 on a
your
good
left-hand
show,
side of the council chambers.
right?
Go ahead.
You do realize when we're watching protests, we get 400,000, right? Go look at the
Okay,
numbers.
I will begin by calling the following names: Tim Hinson, Tony de Trinidad, Ron Seamus Jr., and Rob Notha.
I mean, bro, that's how bad his ratings were. Don't let it fool you. Wasn't ABC doing a good thing, taking him off for saying the comments he said? No, that was a way an out for them because he was already struggling. Then they'll do the same thing with The View.
And I see a couple.
You'll hear
people
everybody
coming
cry
up.
about The View
It just takes a little bit
getting
to get to the
canned,
podium.
those cackling
Go ahead.
cunts.
And once you get to the podium, you can start. You'll have 1 minute since there's only one item on the agenda. Go ahead.
They'll be next.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Council. My name is Tony de Trinidad with the Painters and Allied Trades, District Council 36, and we're here in strong support of item 15, the expansion of the convention center. We strongly feel this expansion creates so many pathways.
Can we hold this time really quick? Sorry. So your time is paused. Just if you could pull back from the microphone. If you're too close, you'll get some feedback. So.
Hello. Can you hear me now? All right.
Better. Thank you.
He's a painter. He doesn't know how to use a mic.
We strongly feel that this expansion creates so many pathways for career-sustaining jobs here in LA for working people. But unfortunately, a number of council members on this council disagree. And it is disheartening because this city has so much potential to improve its infrastructure and modernization. Right now, we have an abandoned high-rise building with graffiti all over it, the looming threat of the movie industry leaving us, an affordable housing shortage, and nearly a dilapidated convention center that ranks 22nd in the nation.
Why is all that
in a
happening,
city that's the
sir?
second largest in the nation.
Who made all that happen, sir?
It almost feels like the working people in the city lack the respect from its leaders, and it's sad. I really do hope and pray that those of you trying to delay this project have a change of heart and consider working class families when you vote today. So please, with your consideration, we ask you to move.
Speaker, your time has expired.
You've outlined all their shitty work, right? Basically. Yep. I know it's somehow the red
Before
guy's
the next
fault.
speaker
or the orange
begins,
guy.
I would like to call up Ernesto Medrano and John Cooley.
Go ahead. And so once you get to the podium, you don't need to wait. I know it's a little bit different than the regular meeting because there were multiple items that were open. But once you get to the podium, feel free to start, and we'll begin your 1 minute. Go ahead.
Very good. Good morning, Council President Harris Dawson, members of Council. I'm Ron Siemens Jr., Coordinator at Teamsters Local 96. I'm here speaking on behalf of Chris Griswold, President of Teamsters Joint Council 42. We represent the skilled trade workers at the Los Angeles Convention Center, a part of 250,000 members and retirees that make up Teamsters Joint Council 42, the vast majority of who reside here in Los Angeles. Our members at the Convention Center earn a dignified wages that keep them and their families housed. Teamsters have some of the best contracts and pension plans in the nation, and expansion opens up more opportunities for Angelenos to work in the Convention Center and enjoy the benefits of a Teamsters contract. An investment in the expansion equals an investment in LA working families. Let me be clear. The so-called alternative option put forth by Council Member Katie Erzlowski is not good. It is a stall distraction that is a step backward. It's threatened good union jobs, billions in economic opportunity, and our city's reputation as a global leader. Labor, business, and community stands united. The third option is unacceptable. The time for debate is over. The only reasonable choice is to approve the original convention center
Don't assume what I know and don't know
modernization
facts.
project. Thank you.
I'm just pointing out what one side did. You know what you do when you assume, right?
Okay, before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up John Lehman, Edgar Castañeda,
I know, you think you're up here.
Marshall,
Super
and
smart.
Rich Sarian.
Well, only if we could all be aspired to be as smart as you. Maybe I could be a Mensa member too someday.
So once you get to the podium, you can go ahead and start because there's only one item. You'll have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Guessing you weren't here
Good morning.
when
My name is
we
John
were talking
Kelly.
about
I'm the
9/11 and
president
everything
of
else.
District Council 36 of the International Union of Painters
crack
and Allied
trade.
Trades and a proud member of Local 831
Missed that day.
Trade Show Installers. We're gathered here today for one thing. Everyone behind me, this rail, is here to see what kind of leaders we have in the city of Los
I don't
Angeles.
see any of them, Marcia.
Do we have leaders that have
None of the
foresight
regs.
and vision that are going to put us
looking.
ahead?
I don't
Or
see
do
'em.
we have leaders that are going to let the convention center continue to stagnate, status quo, and kick the can down the road for the future generations? I'm strongly
I don't
urging
see
you
one.
guys to go ahead and vote yes on this today. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm John Lehman, business representative, IoT Local 33. I'm speaking to you today in full support of the expansion of the LA Convention Center. This project has been discussed for far too long. The time is now to get it done. This will result in union jobs with area standard wages. These union jobs will give local families and youth health care and benefits that we all deserve. These union jobs are a direct career pathway into long-standing careers for the youth who live in this city. We waited long enough. Vote yes on the expansion today. Thank you.
It's funny how people get mad at people for pointing out the people that ruin other people's lives.
Good evening, Council.
They're
My
mad
name
at
is
the
Edgar
messenger.
Castaneda. I'm a representative of Western States Regional Council of Carpenters.
But not at the people that do.
representing 5,000 plus members here down the street at 1645 Main Street here in Chinatown. This project is critical. It will create thousands of mortgage-paying jobs, help recover from losses in foot traffic, and generate millions in the general fund revenue. Timely action is essential to fully leverage the opportunity presented by global attendees visiting downtown LA, while highlighting the diverse mosaic of small businesses that make our neighborhood unique, that remain in the community, striving long after my fellow union brothers are done. Downtown LA is truly the heart of our city. It is time to reinvest in the vital infrastructure to ensure long-lasting economic benefits and open up new opportunities, not just for downtown, but for the entire Los Angeles region. Thank you for your continued leadership in moving this project forward. Thank you.
Yeah, Etan, it's all the same people. It's all one group. They go there in solidarity.
Good
show
morning,
a
council
large
members.
number.
I'm Rich Sarian. I'm with the South Park Business Improvement District, Social District, and we house the convention center. We've lost the entertainment industry. It's gone. Atlanta lost it too, though, so it's okay. We can capitalize on tourism. Conventions and conferences are changing. The entertainment industry is coming down more so to downtown Los Angeles. We could have a South by Southwest. This project has to happen. I went to school at CSUN. I majored in film, and I learned that the best projects are done on a dime and in a time crunch. We can do this. William Mulholland made a point to, put a metal hose up and get water down here. We can build a convention center, and it will definitely transform this city. We've lost a lot of residents. We've lost a lot of business. But that can be our past, and we can make a great future with a vote for this convention center. Thank you.
It's like a snake.
Before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up the last two names that signed up for for item 15, Susan Hawley and Jen Smitham.
It's gonna be one of the worst shows that we've ever had.
Good
LA City
morning
Council.
still. I feel very lucky. My name is Nolan Marshall III. I'm the president and CEO of the Social District, and I get to speak before you twice today. I could not emphasize more that this project is economic infrastructure. 1-to-1. That's what film tax credits pay in terms of the investment from the state into the film tax credits. This project is 2-to-1. California competes tax credits. Cost per job acquisition is $47,000 per job. The cost per job acquisition for this is $37,000 per job. These numbers come from the economic impact analysis that's buried somewhere in all of your reports, and I don't know why it's buried. But these numbers are numbers that you all should have, and if you're evaluating this project as you should, as economic infrastructure, it's a no-brainer. If you care
Not
about
one of them
jobs,
is staring at
if
him.
you care
Not
about
one.
housing, if you care about education,
Look
criminal
around the
justice
horseshoe.
reform, any of those issues that any of you may care about, you have to invest in your economic.
Nobody's paying attention. Not one. Not one of those motherfuckers is paying attention. Not one of them. Look at all of them, all the way down the line.
Hi,
Heads
good morning.
down,
I'm
talking to
Suzanne
somebody
Hawley.
else.
I'm from the DTLA Alliance. First of all, I just want to thank Council President Harris Dawson for his leadership earlier this week in his op-ed saying we must do this project, we must do this full project now, and we can figure out a way to do it. I was at the Budget Committee earlier this week, and I heard a lot of hand-wringing about the cost and the timeline, but the deal breaker was that the city is not competent enough to do this. Are we really saying that we can't have nice things because the city is too broke to fix it? Aren't you the city? Isn't that your job to fix that? Isn't that why we elected you? I'm asking you to act like world-class leaders so we can have a world-class city and get this project done. Thank you.
Oops. Got called out. Matt, yes. Absolutely. What's up, Max?
Hello, this is Jens Midtune. I represent the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council. I'd like to request an additional minute as we have a community impact statement on this at the discretion of the chair.
I want to hear the
I'm
community
sorry,
impact
which
statement.
neighborhood council are you from, sir?
Downtown Los Angeles.
And it was filed with the clerk's office?
It was.
I got a cat.
Well, just 1 minute.
Got a cat.
All right, we have it, so.
Sleep right next to me on the floor. You can see him.
Could I,
Face
start
down
my
on the carpet right now.
Okay, as I said, my name is Jens Midtune. I'm president of the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, speaking on behalf of the council. It's good to see you all again, yes again, because we've been doing this for 2 years. This is our third community impact statement on the subject, and we've all been in support every time. We hear a lot about timeline risks as the city council drags its feet, and this group is rightfully worried about risk, but with a phased approach, we plan on mitigating that. The biggest risk of all is the risk of doing nothing and letting our convention center fall apart and become unusable, a blight on the neighborhood. Make no mistake, if the council votes against the expansion today, that's exactly what they are deciding. There is no other feasible option on the table, despite the recommendations of the Budget Committee. This city needs leadership. We need one of you to stand up and say, like some of you did outside this morning, we need to say this project is going to happen, it's going to work, and if we come across problems along the way, we're going to solve those problems and we're going to move forward. Taking the additional minute here.
Mike, I agree.
But doing nothing is
don't care.
unacceptable. Downtown is struggling. Since the pandemic, the DTLA community is united. Residents, employees, business owners, and unions are all here strongly backing this project. Everyone representing downtown wants this. Downtown LA is the economic engine of Los Angeles. We are the golden goose of Southern California, and this convention center is an investment in our economic future. The money brought here is not to just downtown, but to the whole city. At a time when we see few proactive investments, we need something to believe in. Well, I believe that we're going to get this done.
OCB?
I've never seen downtown more united. Please vote to expand the convention center. It is go time. Thank you.
Thank you, OCB. You guys are too funny. Jim Brown, let's go.
Hello, my name is Erica Bowman. I have been a bartender at the Compass Levy Los Angeles Convention Center for over 15 years now, and I'm a proud member of the Unite Here Local 11.
Just have to wait.
Now, my job is very important to me, as most of everyone else's jobs are also. But today, I stand here in full support of the expansion of the Los Angeles Convention Center. I know there are concerns about cost and timelines, but I also know what it is at stake when the city hesitates. With this expansion, the Los Angeles Convention Center can host bigger events and more often and give even more people like me the opportunity and the ability to support their families. This project can mean real opportunity for workers in the hospitality industry and create consistency for the hospitality workers here in Los Angeles. I urge that, well, if I could get just 30 seconds more.
So we have to give everybody the same amount of time. But
You
if
ain't
you wrap
getting
it up
30
in a
more
sentence,
seconds. We know your script. Build the convention center. It's going to get you more money. We get it.
We
Let's
want
go help
everyone
you.
to make
We
sure
get it.
that the city, Los Angeles city growth works for the
did not
prosperity
know that,
of
Corey.
everyone here in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Did not know that.
Next speaker.
Good morning and thank you. Tom Davis, President of the California IATC Council and Chair of the LA County Federation of Labor. I'm here in strong support and ask for your support of the Convention Center expansion and modernization. You have the opportunity to move this city into the 21st century by making this investment. We have the opportunity to take pride in the facility and the city and the good paying middle class jobs that this project will be bringing forward. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, as you've heard before, to build our community into something that each and every one of us can be proud of, can take pride in. You've heard us speak about the importance of this project. For those who are looking for entry into the entertainment industry and the construction industry, I ask for your support. Thank you.
Council President, all the names have been called for item 15.
All right, thank you so much to everybody who came and presented. We'll
Horrible
begin
Red
our
Blocker.
deliberation on this matter by hearing from our Chief Administrative Officer,
That's a
Mr.
name I
Matt
haven't heard in a
Zabo,
while.
also Gary Lee
Horrible Red
Moore,
Blocker.
who we've impaneled as a consultant on this project. From DWP, Mr. David Hansen. From the board, from the Bureau of Engineering, Katie Doherty. And from APCLA, Stuart Marks. And from WebCorps, Mr. Jeet. And forgive me, Mr. Jeet, for not even attempting the name. Where's our CAO? Oh, there you are. All right, we're ready. We're ready. It's prime time.
Great. So we got all these turds coming in. We got Danish over there. Remember the Danish? Bro, I can't believe he cut his hair that one time like that. And I know whoever cut his hair, he was pissed. Because you know, like it was just a little Danish on the very front of his head and the whole back was just shaved. And now look at the way he's wearing it. It's nowhere near there. Like now it's all the way across the top of his head. I know you guys remember that. You can go back and look at the pictures.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. President.
Like,
members
there's
of
no
the
way
council.
you'd cut
Matt
all
Zabo,
your hair
City
off the top of your head
Administrative
just to
Officer,
have a
here
very
to
small patch
present,
up front.
on our updated report on the Los Angeles Convention Center expansion project. I will actually, no, I'm going to hold on that. At some point, I'm going to need to make an amendment as to
funny,
what
right? You remember
was
too, Randy?
recommended on the agenda. We did issue two updated reports based on late-breaking information, and I will detail that in a moment. Thank you very much.
Too.
So we're going to start just with a little context. I'm going to get to the main points, and then we'll open it up for questions. This has been a long process as this body and multiple committees have been considering whether to move forward with a convention center expansion project. Today we are presenting, and you have before you updated pricing information that we received from the proposed developer, and we are seeking direction from this body as to whether we should proceed with the project or terminate the project.
In January. What are you talking about?
So to provide, just to give you an update as to what is new from the discussions that we had in committees, both the Budget Committee and the Economic Development and Jobs Committee. The report that you received this morning had a number of changes. As a result
Bro's
of the city
eyebrows
team
look crazy too. I never noticed that.
negotiating
Look at his eyebrow.
pretty much around the clock
It looks like Spock.
with APCLA, the proposed developer. We have secured, and with our partners
No,
at
what was
DWP,
Spock? He wasn't a
a
Klingon.
reduction in
Was
construction
he?
costs, a reduction in city retained
Anybody
costs.
Star Trek fan?
We have updated projections on signage revenue and updated
Vulcan.
projections on the interest
He's a
rate. The
Vulcan.
revised construction costs,
Vulcan.
the report revises those down by $83 million. This is due in large part to reductions in scope from that which the DWP is responsible for. There are other reductions as well that were offered by the developer.
Took me a while.
We've also revised, as the construction costs go down, the city retained costs, the contingencies required by the city also would be reduced. So we reduced those by $13 million. There has been, and I will detail this a little bit later in the presentation, a long discussion both locally and with the state of California about signage. We have settled on a projection that would only require, or that would only allow the city to do on-site signage for on-site advertising for the freeway-facing signs.
Appreciate you.
And that projection provides an additional $11 million annually. And then lastly,
I know, Bobby.
We have revised the borrowing costs down from 4.84% to 4.6%. That is based on updated interest rate assumptions consistent with current market conditions. Rates have moved lower by approximately 20 basis points over the past month. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve lowered the overnight rate by 25 basis points, 0.25%, and is projecting 50 basis point reduction, an additional 50 basis point reduction by the end of the calendar year in 2025. So combined, these revisions that you have before you in the report reduce the overall costs by over $500 million and move the average annual general fund impact from the $111 million, which was in our August 29th report, to $89 million today.
Folks, we need to hold your applause, boos, hisses, whatever it's going to be, because we need to get through this. It's Friday, and folks
no
gotta
clapping.
Get going. So if you will kindly let us get through this proposal,
because that's holding us up, not me telling you to not clap for 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will quickly move through the details of what it is before
Sharon,
you. The
so
expansion would add 190,000 square feet of contiguous exhibit hall space, 39,000 square feet of meeting room space, and a 95,000 square foot multi-purpose space. The modernization, if just for those that haven't been steeped in this project, you can see from this aerial what it is attempting to do. It is attempting to connect the West Hall, which is a 50-year-old building, to the South Hall, which is a 30-year-old building, over Pico, to add a hall where you see that
other rectangular
space. That is
one
also
over there
what makes this project extraordinarily complicated and extraordinarily costly. So this is what you'll see by the end. This is where we will be according to the current schedule by the time of the 2028 Olympics.
Do you ever go to the LA Auto Show there? It's annoying. You go one hall, got to get out, walk over to the other hall. So I understand what they're trying to do there. Makes sense.
Impact of the project. There's been much discussion about this before we proceeded, before my office proceeded with reports recommending a pathway. We did conduct economic analysis on the impact of an expansion. The expansion would create 13,300 jobs during the expansion, 2,153 annual net new jobs, bring in at least 500,000 additional visitors over the first 10 years, and generate $652 million in general fund tax revenue over the 30-year period that we would be paying the bonds. So the recommendations for you today are to either proceed with the phased delivery of the project as proposed according to the committed cost that has been provided to you, and to proceed with issuing the debt to cover the cost of the project, or to terminate the project. We are at the end of the line, and a decision does need to be made.
Go with number two.
I want to review the updated project costs briefly, and then we can go into this in more detail with questions. The overall cost of the project, the direct cost of the project, is $2.62 billion. That is made up of the pre-construction costs, the construction costs, and then the city retained costs. The pre-construction costs, that's the money that we needed to invest to get us to this point. Of that $82 million of initial early works agreement activities, we have expended approximately $54 million. It has been structured this way so that the city owns the details, owns the plans, and the design, but we have spent $54 million to get to where we are today.
$54 million
The
just to get here?
construction cost
We haven't
itself
done anything?
has been reduced slightly from $2.035 billion in previous reports down to $1.95 billion. And again, that is largely due to
Down the
DWP
toilet,
costs
RJ.
being reduced
RG,
fairly substantially as the department has made further assessments as to what is required. And I would,
$54 million.
the DWP is here and can answer questions about how they got to their reduced projection. In addition to reducing their, in addition to reducing the scope of work that the Department of Water and Power has determined would be necessary for this project, they have also resolved or have a plan to resolve certainly the issues related to other projects, the Valley Metro project, the work at the Port of Los Angeles, and in the Palisades as well. And I would defer to the department to detail the resolution there. As it relates to city retained costs, the city retained costs, this is the contingency costs. So there are contingencies within the project budget of that $1.95 billion. And then there are contingencies that we are holding outside of the project budget. We're holding 10% for relief events. We're holding 5% for changes in scope. It is our hope that this $385 million of that 553, it would not be tapped into to a great extent, but we do need to set aside and we do need to plan for that contingency being used in order to deliver the project on time. That is part of the project. The other portion relates to a robust project construction management team.
We're down $1 billion in debt, imagine that.
Multiple consultants, technical consultants, signage consultants, management consultants.
High-speed train that goes
that
to
will
nowhere.
Supplement the staff at the
Nobody's
Bureau
gonna
of
use
Engineering and other staff
100 people maybe
to
a day.
do the work and the analysis that needs to be done to ensure the project is delivered on time. As it relates to the financing costs, I do need to spend a little bit of time on this. Again, the $2.26 billion is where we will finance that cost. We will not be paying from the general fund debt service until 28, 29.
Look at the interest.
We will be using capitalized interest for that. What that means is basically we will be borrowing to pay the initial costs. So that is added. We'll be borrowing to pay the initial debt service. So that will be added to our overall debt service. And then there are some issuance costs. So the total amount to be financed for this project would be just over $3 billion.
421 mil just to give them the money to do what they're going to do.
As I said, that is down 0.2%, 20 basis points, just over 20 basis points from the previous projection of 4.84%. That has a savings to the city of about $130 million. As I said, rates on Wednesday.
So wait, the orange guy pressured those assholes, the Fed Reserve, to finally lower the interest rate, which is now going to save you over $100 million.
Were reduced, and we do expect additional rate reductions before the end of the calendar year.
Which saves you money, right?
That means that the average annual debt service, service, not general fund impact, is $171 million. So that's the average annual. We will talk in a moment about how that relates to what the city pays out of its general fund. As it relates to debt capacity, when we're asking the questions, beyond can the city afford this, does the city have the capacity to issue this much debt?
You're borrowing to get it.
The city has adopted and has very conservative practices as it relates to debt issuance. Our financial policies dictate that no more than 6% of our general fund revenue can be used for debt service. We are currently at 2.4%. So this chart shows what the impact would be of our annual debt service under the limit. The line across the top is our debt limit If we added the debt service from this project, it would increase in fiscal 31 our debt service to 4.03% of projected general fund revenues. So it does
Yes,
use more of our capacity, but it is well within our financial policies. As it relates to revenue, how we're going to pay for this, we'll be paying for this through direct revenue and indirect revenue, and I need to be very clear that the direct revenue and the indirect revenue will not fully cover the cost of the debt service. So there will be, for the entirety of the period that we are paying debt service, a general fund impact. As it relates to the direct revenue, we will be securing and dedicating the revenue from the events at the convention center, from parking at the convention center, and from signage at the convention center that will be part of the project, will be established as part of the project. We are projecting an annual average revenue from directly from the project to be $120 million average over 30 years. That will increase over time. As it relates to indirect revenues, when we're talking about indirect revenues, we're talking about tax revenue. The economic analysis suggests that the additional visitors, additional hotel night stays will yield $652 million net new general fund revenue over 30 years as a result of the expansion. So there was a base case, a status quo case, and then a case assuming the expansion with the 83 new events, additional events, and the larger conventions, and the larger capacity and additional visitors, and it yields the $652 million. So when you take the cost of the project,
don't get the Olympics, Sharon,
and then take out the revenue, we get to the net general fund impact.
It would teach these people a lesson.
What will we be paying out of the general fund in order to facilitate
waiting on money that's not really there yet?
So the total revenue, the direct revenue and the indirect revenue, and these are, again, our 30-year averages, is $142 million. The costs average, including which is debt service and operating costs. We do need to include operating costs in that figure because
$60 million.
If we're assuming all of the revenue from the convention center, we need to cover the operating costs as well. And that would lead to an average annual net general fund impact of $89 million. However, I do need to be very clear about this, that $89 million is an average annual general fund impact. That assumes we hit all of our direct and indirect revenue targets. $89 million does not represent the maximum the general fund will be on the hook to pay or could be on the hook to pay, particularly in the early years.
Pretty much, Bono.
This chart shows the estimated net general fund impact by fiscal year, and under our new projections, it would peak at $147 million net general fund impact.
Imagine that we're $1 billion
in 2031. That is the first year that the city would be obligated to pay debt service on both series of bonds, and then it would slowly decrease after that.
We weren't
getting to the
dead
question
at all a few years ago.
Of where are we financially?
Now we're $1 billion in the hole.
Can we consider a project like this? How could we possibly?
And they're asking for $2 billion in advance.
This
so
is our 4-year outlook. We publish the 4-year outlook as after the budget is adopted. As you know, we had a very, very large gap to close in this year's budget. This budget was balanced largely in structural ways, and our adopted budget outlook assumes that those structural changes will hold. Our current outlook projects a $91 million gap, a $91 million deficit for fiscal 27-28, structural balance in 27-28, and then surpluses of $238 million and $453 million in fiscal 29. I think it was included,
Janet, on the $60
so
million.
When we're asking ourselves the question, if the city is going to be taking on an additional $147 million in in general fund obligations in fiscal 29-30. Will we have the capacity to cover that? And certainly our revenue growth should far exceed that additional general fund obligation. It absolutely will require trade-offs, and we would have 147 million fewer dollars to spend on other things, but our current outlook, our current four-year outlook shows a $1.2 billion increase in projected revenues
down the road, Michael.
From our current fiscal year to fiscal 29-30. So again, if we take our current projections.
Oh, fire alarm. Well, you're in a room filled with Democrats. Someone had to pull the fire alarm. What if it's real? It'd be a great thing, Stu. Burn this place to the ground. Then they'll have to go to Van Nuys every day. That'd be punishment alone. Making them drive every day to Van Nuys until this place got rebuilt. Yeah, it's hilarious.
So we're being told that we have to wait until GSD walks to the panel to assess it before we'll get an announcement from them on the overhead.
DEI alarm. Telling all of them that we're meeting up in the room in the back. Juice boxes and Capri Suns for everybody. Jim Brown, thank you so much, Jim Brown. It is a shit show, Jamie. And they're literally having to spend $421 million to borrow the money to do this. Where do you think that money's coming from? And Pono, you're right. It's going to be $100 to park. It's $100 to park now in some places. So for sure it'll be $100. Ken Hartford, thank you so much, Ken. It's a trans alert. Uh-oh, they'll be turning into things all of a sudden.
All right. All right.
So it wasn't a fire
False
alarm.
alarm from the second floor. Let's proceed.
LAPD
Mr. Zabel.
security
Okay,
alarm.
very good.
What happens when
All right,
the
very
DEI
good.
circus gets into town, everybody?
Thank you very much. So, as it relates to the net general fund impact, if you lay that over what our current outlook projections are, you can see if you look at 28-29, it's the first year with the red bar at the bottom. That red bar represents the amount that we would pay, there would be the net general fund impact to pay the debt service. The first year we would be paying debt service. We are currently projecting a $238 million surplus. Again, that surplus, again, assumes that essentially a status quo budget There will certainly be pressures and desires to increase our expenditures beyond what we are currently spending. So those will change, and these projections will change as we consider our fiscal 27 and 28 budget, undoubtedly. But this is a snapshot as to where we are right now. In fiscal 29-30, that net general fund impact would increase to $113 million, which is within our current projected surplus of $453 million. This project is not without significant risks. We've discussed the risks extensively in committee. There are a number of risks related to schedule. There has been significant work that has happened with the Department of Water and Power to reduce the risks, but they still exist. It is absolutely critical that if this project is to proceed, that the city hit its marks in addition to the developer hitting their marks. There are approvals that are required. If we are late in approvals, if we fail to perform as required by the contract, the city is on the hook for that. It could cause delays. It could jeopardize Olympic readiness. It could cause us to dip into the contingencies that we've set aside. So I cannot stress that enough. If this project does move forward, the city must be organized to hit all of its marks and to meet its obligations. Without question, the greatest risk is the Olympic readiness. This project absolutely must be completed. At least the first phase of this project must be completed well in advance of the 2028 Games. The current schedule has the project to be Olympic ready by March 31st. The exclusive period for LA 28 to take control of the convention center, which is a venue, not only a venue for events, but it is also a venue for supporting events that will happen in Crypto.com arena. That is June 1st. And so there is a very, very small margin for error on the schedule in order for this project to be Olympic ready before the Olympics. The signage revenue risks, as I detailed previously, our initial report had projected a much more robust revenue coming in from our digital signage program. We had projected $61 million average for the digital signage program, which included 2 freeway-facing signs. There was an effort to secure an exemption from state approval in Sacramento, and there was significant work put into securing that exemption. The resulting legislation did not facilitate the exemption that we needed for the full revenue, so we did need to revise our revenue down to allow for only on-site advertising on the freeway-facing signs. That reduced the average annual revenue by $23 million, $690 million over 30 years. If this project is to move forward, I would strongly recommend that that revenue be re-examined, and we look at the opportunity for either a future exemption or resolving the issues, resolving the hurdles.
Dana, you haven't seen it. You need to go back and see this dude last year.
Maximizing its revenue from the freeway-facing signage. So when we're considering this project, there is also a risk for those who are committed to see this project built. There is a significant risk in delay. In February of 2020, this project had an estimated construction cost of $1.1 billion. In November of 2023, it rose to $1.4 billion. And the project is this is just the construction cost, is nearly $2 billion today. These cost increases have been driven largely by inflation in labor and materials. And as the base costs increase, so do the city-held contingencies. These are costs that will continue to increase. Delaying the project, if you are committed to seeing this project built, will not reverse the inflation in labor and steel. There is no delivery model that lowers the cost of construction itself. In fact, I just need to say, and I will conclude very shortly, Mr. President, as we're talking about delivery models, this project has been discussed and has been before this body multiple times over more than a decade. Before I became CAO, the model that was being considered was a public-private partnership. That public-private partnership would have financed not just the cost of construction, but the cost of operations, the cost of maintenance. Everything would have been financed, and it would have been financed with private investment, with private equity. That was a vastly, vastly more expensive model, dramatically more expensive than what you have before you, and that was a prerequisite to moving this project forward, was moving away from that highly expensive, highly speculative model where the city would prepay for all of the risk. So we just need to keep that in mind as it relates to whether we do this project now or whether we consider this project in 4 years from now. So that goes back to our basic recommendations, members, and we get to the decision point. The city team has taken this as far as we can. We have worked to provide you the best possible information so that you can make a decision. Is the expansion possible? Yes, it is. Are there schedule risks? Yes, there are schedule risks. Will it provide substantial economic benefits? Yes. Can we afford it? Yes, but not without future trade-offs. We will be committing funds, not just in 2030, but for 30 years after that, to support this expansion. So now it's the ultimate judgment call that only you can make.
Now we still lost
we need to
54 billion. I mean,
the
sorry,
future of the
54
convention
million.
center today. If you believe that this project is too costly and too risky, that the costs and risks outweigh the benefits, then you should terminate the project today and proceed with the minor improvements outlined in the budget and finance report.
You could have easily built 4 homeless.
If you're
40
committed to this
homeless
project
shelters.
and believe
40.
that we need to get it done, but are
That
also
money.
concerned that it's
40.
too costly today, the solution to that problem is not to delay it for another 4 years. Delay will exacerbate that problem, not solve it. So if you're committed to the project and believe that the jobs and the economic benefits are worth the costs and the risks, then you should vote to approve the project and move forward today. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'll look for questions.
All right, again, a reminder to hold your applause. And I think Mr. McCosker has a clarifying point to what's in front of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is just a procedural point. We do have item 15D, which is a motion by Harris, Dawson, McCosker, Hutt, Price, Nazarian, seconded by Gerardo, which has a subsection 1B with numbers, and based on the presentation we just heard, I believe I'm going to ask for, I will ask for a friendly amendment to 1B to read approved total projects costs of up to
maintenance
and
and
replace
How's that?
2.62 billion for the existing 2.72 billion.
I'm not talking
It goes
about
on to
building
read
the Taj Mahal.
inclusive of up to 82.4 million for pre-construction costs, up to, I'm going to say 1.95 billion to replace 2.35 billion for design and construction, a developer fee of 35 million, and up to, and a point of clarification, will it read 533 million for city retained costs in lieu of 566?
Just for
It would be 553, yes.
553 million to replace the 566. I would ask for the makers of the motion to accept that as a friendly, and the seconder to accept that as a friendly.
Accepted as a friendly. For who? For Mr. McCosker? Yeah. Councilmember
That was actually the first thing that I was going to bring up. Is there a reason why we switch from using periods to commas? Is that a typo? Is that supposed to be million? I was going to ask that both for 15D Section B as well as today's agenda, making sure that all these numbers match.
Yes, thank you. That is a typo. That was intended to be a period, not a comma.
And it's okay.
It is a typo.
Just making sure.
Yes.
All right, and
Then
we'll
I
accept.
can second.
Okay.
What we're dealing with.
One more time.
I can second his amendment.
Okay, and we'll accept that amendment as friendly unless any of the makers of the motion have an objection.
Boy.
Members and staff of this city and folks who have joined us today and folks who are watching this conversation, I want everybody to know you are watching in real life a council dig in deep and do its job. This is a big decision, perhaps one of the biggest decisions that this city will make. It is a decision that, if it goes in one direction, has at least 30-year implications on the budget and beyond. Either way, this decision has an impact on our city for generations to come that Angelenos will feel long after all of us are gone. I want to start by complimenting each and every member of this council, no matter where they stand on this issue. Our job as council members is to look under the hood, to kick the tires, to examine, to question, to debate scenarios. And that has happened in spades, and I think everybody has done an amazing job asking the tough questions, interrogating the developers, interrogating the staff, interrogating each other. It is exactly what democracy is supposed to look like. Here in Los Angeles, we don't kick you off of television because you make bad jokes about us or you disagree with us. This is the kind of debate that we encourage.
Really,
in our society and in this city,
you just kick
when we have
off.
tough questions, we have debates.
I got to stop him for a second. This is coming from the piece of shit who cut off all telephonic comment. But we don't kick you off. Right? We don't hold you back and kick you off because of what you're saying, your free speech. The 1 minute that they do give you. Coming from that same guy. Old Marqueef, the pussy fart.
In public with each other, and sometimes we raise our voices, sometimes we are very impassioned, but all of that is driven by a love for the city and a commitment to its future. And I want to begin our discussion today, and I know it'll be a vigorous discussion. I want to call on our budget chair, who just went through the process of
banning
being
words,
the tip of the spear and negotiating a very, very tough budget, because we're in a very tough budget environment, and has from the beginning been one of the main members of this council taking a hard look at this decision that's before us. I have an opinion about the decision. I want to thank the folks at the West Side Current. They published it for us earlier this year, but I did not come to that opinion easily. Or do not take
He's a power tripper.
That decision very, very lightly. I understand and appreciate that others may look at the same set of facts and come to a different conclusion. There is plenty there. There is plenty there to leave you at the end of it at another place. And so with that, I hope that frames our discussion today. I just want to say to to the members in the gallery, this is not an issue of angels and devils. This is not an issue of people who care about the city and people who don't. This is a very, very tough question that all of these members have had to struggle with for many, many years, frankly. I just anecdotally, in my first 90 days on this council, I sat in a committee and heard Miguel Santana and Don Liu and other folks tell us that we were about to have a vote on the convention center. That was 10 years ago that happened. And so today, I hope that what we have is some finality with regard to this iteration of the discussion, and that after we're done, we continue with the business of running this city. And so with that, I want to begin our discussion by hearing from Councilmember Yaroslavsky, Budget Chair.
Thank you, Council President.
Except for running it into the ground.
Somewhat lengthy remarks, but I promise they'll be the only time I speak.
Nobody cares. Hurry up.
Colleagues, we all want a stronger downtown. We all want Los Angeles to host world-class events. The convention center plays a really important role in that vision. But the question before us today is not whether to invest in the convention center. The question is whether we commit to a nearly $3 billion expansion on terms that put our city's finances and our basic city services at risk for decades.
Decades.
This expansion is unrealistic, it's unaffordable, and it's fiscally irresponsible.
Uh-oh.
It puts our city at severe risk, and I want to explain exactly how. We spent a lot of time in committee trying to get all the facts on the table, and the facts that we were able to glean are clear. This project is being forced into an Olympic-driven deadline that is unrealistic on its face. Over the next 910 days, crews would have to work 6 days a week, every week, with only 20 days of float days and several more for bad weather and other contingencies. That's approximately 5 weeks of slack in a 130-week construction schedule. Even the smallest disruption, supply chain delays, weather, labor shortages, or the city's own approval process, which we all know what that is, will push us off schedule. The contract itself identifies 27 relief events, which are reasons for delay not covered by the contract and for which we as a city are financially responsible for cost increases. 15 of those relief events hinge on the city meeting its own obligations in time. This means that if and when DBS or BOE or DOT too slowly moves to issue a permit, or when DWP's work on the electrical piece interferes with the contractor's construction work, the liability falls squarely on us. Taxpayers carry the cost of delay, and the risks don't end there. If the project slips past March of 2028, Olympic and Paralympic events already booked at the convention center will have to relocate. LA 28's incremental additional costs of relocation and any costs associated with lost revenues from, say, decreased ticket revenues, that falls on the city. At the same time, we're prepared to waste an additional $30 million on a start-stop construction plan, clearing the site for the games and then resuming work later. All of this is supposed to happen while DWP is still trying to design and deliver new power infrastructure, which will take DWP staff away from priorities like reconstruction of the Palisades, housing projects across all of our districts, and priority metro projects. The schedule just does not work. We are gambling billions of taxpayer dollars on a best-case scenario that everyone in this chamber knows is highly unlikely to come to pass. We can wish for it, but we know it's not going to happen. This is not careful planning. It's dangerous wishful thinking. I haven't even mentioned cost. The price has ballooned from $1.4 billion to $2.7 billion in less than 2 years. Now we're hearing as of this morning that it might be $2.6 billion. But that's important. It tells you all you need to know about one of the main issues with this contract, which is that it's not a firm fixed price contract. This means that the cost we pay can rise, and I'm telling you as a former land use lawyer, as a real estate lawyer, it's going to. When you account for the life of the bonds, we're looking at a minimum of $5 billion in taxpayer money. It's only going to go up. As you've heard, it's an average of about 90 or 100 million a year from the general fund for the next 3 decades. And that figure factors in all the revenue the project will generate. That's our annual net general fund hit. In the early years, it's closer to $160 million. That obligation is going to eat up all projected general fund growth for the foreseeable future. I am not making that up. It comes directly from the CAO's report. So what does that mean? Colleagues, it means that when we want to accelerate the hiring of police officers or expand the fire department, there will be no money left to do it. If we want to repair the sidewalks that are costing us more than $100 million a year in liability or build new bike lanes and walkable communities so that we're in compliance with HLA, there will be absolutely no money to do it. There's no money now, but there certainly won't be. When members want to start a public bank, restore funding for senior meals, pay for immigration defense, or hire more crossing guards to protect kids walking to school, there's not going to be money for it. If you think city services are bad now, and I think all of us would agree that they suck, and you thought maybe one day we would have funding to restore service, I have bad news. It's going to get worse. We aren't going to be able to afford even the level of service we have right now, which is crap. Oops. And it's not our city employees' fault. It's that we've been hollowing out sweeping vacancies for years. We've been underinvesting in our city workforce who do the work of providing core city services. Every new dollar of growth in our general fund will already be committed to paying for this project for years to come. And that assumes growth. We are assuming growth. If we hit a recession or a slowdown, which we know is a high likelihood of happening, we're in even more trouble. The plan depends on revenues that are shaky at best. State legislation authorizing freeway signage made things worse, as Mr. Szabo said. There's no agreement with Caltrans. Federal regulators or AEG may still block signage altogether, or even penalize the city for trying. Without those revenues, the gaps between costs and revenues are only going to grow wider. So even under the best case scenario, which is what we're seeing today, this project is going to consume every bit of financial flexibility we have. And if revenues come up short or if costs escalate further, which I think that they will, the general fund takes the hit. The cost of this project does not exist in a vacuum. We are already starting next year, with a $91 million structural deficit before we even see our first financial status report. The budget cycle we just went through was not an aberration. It is the new normal unless we get serious about our fiscal responsibility to this city and our constituents. At Housing and Homelessness Committee Wednesday, we heard that the city faces a new $220 million gap in homelessness services for next year without new state dollars. We are on the edge of a fiscal cliff just with regard to homelessness alone. And remember, LA is also on the hook for Olympic overruns. The first $270 million comes from the city, the next $270 million comes from the state, and then anything beyond that is ours again. It's a blank check. The convention center bill starts coming due the very same year we could be forced to absorb those Olympic overages. And by taking on the debt that this project requires, we are in effect running up our credit card, limiting our ability to borrow those bills or any else we decide is worth investing in for decades. We literally are talking about putting City Hall, the LAPD headquarters, and your local LAPD and LAFD stations up as collateral for this loan. We just closed a $1 billion budget gap. And to do so, this council made really tough trade-offs. But we weren't the only ones. Our city employees, including our sworn police officers and a lot of civilians, stepped up too. They agreed to sacrifice to keep things running. They accepted furloughs and unpaid days to protect services. So how can we ask our workforce to take unpaid time and in the same breath claim we have enough money to spend at least $5 billion on an expansion we know we can't afford? And here is the kicker. Every single one of those labor agreements and those contracts is up for negotiation in 2028, the very year we start paying debt service on this project. At the exact moment when our workers, our city workers, will be seeking raises and better benefits, the city will have locked itself into massive new obligations that squeeze out room for anything else. What's more, we're facing ballot box measures that propose to end our gross receipts tax. That's more than $800 million annually, or nearly 10% of our general fund. Another ballot measure could strip away the document transfer tax. These are 2 of the 7 major revenue categories in the city's budget. You'll notice I haven't yet mentioned the Trump administration, in part because we can't even fathom how bad the federal cuts are going to be. A yes vote will tie our hands financially for decades, while our existing obligations are about to explode. Colleagues, I've heard the arguments about the opportunity cost of inaction, and those are valid. We should have done this 10 years ago. We really should have. But one of the arguments that seems to be carrying the day is that our predecessors failed to act for years, and if we don't act now, the price is just going to keep going up. And that's true. But when you can't afford something, you don't buy it because it will be more expensive later. You buy what you can afford.
That's it.
We have to weigh the very real costs and risks that Mr. Szabo outlined. They're right in front of us. They are not hypothetical. They are enormous. They threaten our ability to deliver the most basic services for all of our constituents. Most of our constituents don't even know that this is happening. If they did, they'd probably be upset about it. None of us wants to say no to downtown. I don't. I certainly don't. But there's a difference between saying no to this expansion and saying yes to a smarter path. That is what your Budget and Finance Committee recommended on Tuesday. Yes to upgrades and modernization. Yes to addressing deferred maintenance. Not minor changes, hundreds of millions of dollars of changes. Yes to making the convention center functional and beautiful for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. And yes to expansion after 2028 through a competitive bid that allows us to manage costs, secure revenue, and deliver the project responsibly. That's exactly what the Budget and Finance Committee recommended. This path would invest hundreds of millions of dollars in downtown right now. It would protect the city's finances, and it would preserve our ability to meet the needs of our neighborhoods, all the other needs of our neighborhoods and communities. I've heard some questions about where this report comes from, the recommendation that we voted on 3-2 in budget, that it feels rushed and last minute. I want to tell you exactly where it came from. Back in April, 13 of us, 13 members of this body, voted in favor of a motion that asked for a value-engineered, less expensive version of this project. We asked for a version of the project that, quote, brings the net general fund obligation as close to zero as possible. That's what we asked for. 13 of us asked for that. We didn't put restrictions on what that could be, what it would look like. We just asked for what a version of this project looked like if it kept costs within a reasonable range of projected revenues. We never got that, colleagues. We never saw it. It was never given to us as an option. The CEO came back with a more expensive project with minimal value engineering. I find that completely unacceptable.
Look at the hair
13
there.
of us asked for it. We didn't get it, so I had to propose it on Tuesday. This is a difficult decision, colleagues. I recognize that. This is again why your Budget and Finance Committee sought to put this alternative modernization plan before us, so we had a third option. I think it's a real shame that we're not voting on that today. I'm closing, I promise. This has been hard, and I have the deepest respect for my colleagues and community members who are advocating passionately for this project. I also recognize where the council is on this. And I just want to close by saying that I, as much as all of you, hope that this is a success. I really do. I mean it, truly. And no matter what, we as a body are all in this together, and I will do everything in my power, working with all of you to make sure that it is, to find cost savings and keep things on track. If I have to call the head of BOE or DWP myself to get a permit approved, I'll do it. Because this thing has to succeed. There is no other option. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Yaroslavsky. Councilmember Rahman. No? Okay. Councilmember Padilla, are you still up here from before? Okay, Councilmember Padilla.
Reagan is a star.
I don't really know who's going to answer this, but here's my question.
You.
The LA Times mentioned that this was going to potentially keep the undergrounding utilities for the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail project to be delayed. Can you please tell me if this is true? And yeah, is this true? How is this mitigated? What's the plan?
Sure. I'm going to ask LADWP to address that.
Good morning, Council President, members of the committee, members of the council. My name is Dave Hansen. I'm the head of the power system for DWP. With me today is Jason Hills, our Director of Power Engineering, as well as Emil Abdel Shahid, our Director for Power New Business. In specific response to your undergrounding question, we do have a lot of undergrounding projects that are moving forward right now. So the bulk of the work that's related to the convention center, for us, it's building a new network station as well as undergrounding. I think we're all aware of what's going on in the Palisades with undergrounding. That's new work to us. It was in the budget, but it was for a few years from now. So we had to escalate that so we could be able to address those issues now. We do have the ability to hire contractors to do core work. So the question that's been presented to us is, what is the risk to this? If we do the undergrounding work for the convention center, it's going to
Still,
put a strain on all of our resources. We've been working closely with APCLA for them to support the underground construction portion of the
I'm
work.
sorry, who is that? ABCL, who is that?
APCLA is the contractor that the project manager for the convention center. Mr. Stu, can you wave?
Yeah.
So they're going to do the
shot. He's on
underground
the
construction
red
portion,
phone.
and then we'll come back behind them and pull in the
What a
electrical
photo op.
cables. So as long as they can commit to do that underground construction, and we're only on the hook for cables, we should be able to collaborate with our labor partners at IBEW Local 18 to put a contract in place to be able to support the work and minimize impact to other core projects.
Okay, so yeah, because this project is supposed to be done by 2031. So you mentioned the Palisades. I know we have some things that we want to do at the port, plus the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail project, and now this timeline attached to the convention center. Will all of this continue to be on timeline if we approve this convention center project today? The Palisades, the light rail, and even the port.
So what we've been asked to identify is a potential risk, so it's very difficult to give you a firm answer. I can tell you that anything that we do in addition to the projects that we have going right now present additional risk. Case in point, the Palisades. We had a firm commitment with the MTA projects and the East.
My phone's totally listening to me, or listening to her. Totally is. Crazy. Crazy, son. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Craziness. It's listening.
San Fernando
As soon as
Rail,
she
as well
mentioned
as
the
3
light
other
rail,
major projects with
that
them.
came up.
But we've had to prioritize the Palisades because it's a tragedy, and tragedies trump projects. So we've had to figure out a way to be able to address everything. So for us to take on the convention center, we have been able to figure out ways that we can do all of it, but it's going to take close collaboration with our labor partners. I can't give you a firm answer on that because we have an NOC process we have to follow with Local 18, and they're going to have some requests.
I don't even
But
have
we have
Siri
had
on.
internal meetings, Mr. Zabo and myself, so we will be meeting with Local 18 very
Never
shortly to
used
see
Siri
what
once
their
on my
asks
phone,
are going
not
to be.
one time.
If their capacities are peaked, what is the plan B? Who do you usually go to fulfill labor demands? Because my understanding is the port, the Palisades is tragedy, and the port is grant-based pressure and fulfillment. And I have spent my entire career after college making sure that the San Fernando Valley gets its fair share and
All
a good
3
project
years?
that they could be proud of on Van Nuys Boulevard. So my vote is very contingent on, you mentioned that it almost kind of sounded like you're a little bit with our partners in labor, you think you could reach agreements, but you did say if we can get a commitment from the contractor. Can we get this contractor that this is not going to affect our other projects?
As far as the contractor commitment, I'll let Stu Marks from APCLA speak to that. It's their contractor.
Can they come to the front?
Yes. But for us, it's not so much the labor forces in the field that are the constraint, it's the engineering and drafting folks that we have that are civil servants. It takes us about 2 years to train these folks and get them in place. So quite honestly, we should have increased the size of that training program years ago, but we didn't. So we're doing it now. What we're going to have to put in place that we've never had before is a contract to be able to expand that design and drafting group. We have been able to do that on some of our transmission and renewable projects, but we've never done it on in-town, in-basin core work on the distribution side. So that's where we'll have to engage with Local 18 and get their buy-in.
What would be the next steps to make that happen? What do you need from this council?
It's happening.
Because everyone's taking notes and everybody's going to want that credit. So I'm sure people are drafting motions already.
Understood.
So please tell us.
It's happening now. So we met, this is a rush project, so there's a lot of stuff coming at us quickly. And just the amount of changes that have taken place this week are mind-boggling. So on Monday, when we received the information, we did have a meeting with our partners at World Airports to see if we could jump on top of a piggyback contract that they have for a potential for engineer, procurement, and construct. But now it looks like we may only need an engineering contract, so we'll be looking at fast-tracking that with city approvals. We will be speaking with the city attorney's office so that we can try to get these things done as quickly as possible. And I know we have the full support of the CAO's office. Mr. Zabel and I have met on this specifically. So it's happening now this week, and we'll get back to council with specific asks of what we would need to be able to get that done quickly.
Where is that going to happen, in committee?
Well, the NOC process is a negotiation essentially between us and our labor partners at Local 18. It's notice of compliance is the NOC. So anytime we look at contracting out what our labor partners deem as core work, we have to engage in a process back and forth. We make agreements. Okay, we'll hire additional crews. We may bring on additional reporting locations. They'll have some conditions. We would have to offer existing civil servants normally Appendix B 10% overtime for those folks that are already here as civil servants, in addition, in return for them allowing us to contract it out.
Fizzy Mint, those are the sound machines.
Do you want to talk about your commitments?
Where all the sound
before I go to my
from.
next question?
Yes, my name's Stuart Marks. I'm the project executive of APCLA. We're the developer that'll be entering into the contract with the city. I did want to thank Mr. Hansen and his whole team for his collaboration over the past few months, and particularly over the last week. We have reached a point where we're committed to delivering the three circuits in particular that LADWP have asked for us in order to meet those timetables without jeopardizing their other work commitments.
Sounds like an
We've
Australian.
committed to do that with the city,
bloke.
with the help and assistance of the CAO's office, Gary Lee Moore, and certain council members who've been instrumental in making that happen.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I guess this is back to the CAO. Can you please elaborate on the, based on your presentations, I know you brought up a lot of the assumed revenues, but what I didn't see is when these assumed revenues are going to take place. So when is, and I can see that we're going to start paying this off closer to
feedback, too much.
2050, so to speak. But when does the assumed revenue kick in? And what is it from? Is it from the signs? Is it from the conventions? Is it from, I don't know, local restaurants that we know we're going to also incorporate? Like, where does it come in?
Sure. So
Christopher,
the
this is a big
structure
issue.
of financing this project
Really
requires that all of the revenue that is generated by the convention center after the expansion would be dedicated, it would be captured as general fund revenue that we would dedicate to paying the debt service. Our schedule that we have in front of you assumes that we would start realizing revenue after the convention center project is complete. That would be in fiscal 29. So in 2029, we're assuming $37 million in revenue. The following year, it would increase to $67 million. The year after that, it would increase to $78 million, and it would increase over time.
Yeah, but what's bringing that in? Is it because by then we would have the signage? Is it because by then we will? Okay, maybe we. Do you want to come?
No. Yeah, no. It's so there are three sources of revenue. It's from events that the convention center puts on. It's signage, the signage program, and it's parking. Those are the three main sources of revenue from the convention center. In addition to that, we are making assumptions on net new tax revenue that would be generated based on the economic activity that the expansion would produce.
Is that citywide?
Citywide, yes.
So there's this assumption that people will come to a convention and then it trickles out into the rest of the city.
The assumption is that there will be additional spending related to the additional events and the larger events, additional hotel room night stays, and those activities generate general fund revenue that we would otherwise not see but for the expansion.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question. How do we plan to keep the public updated on spending revenue, and most importantly, how are we going to stay on top of proof of local hire?
Yeah, thank you for that.
We can talk about local hire.
I am going to ask everyone to please, this is important. We could quiet it down.
Yes. Yeah. The project is subject to the Los Angeles project labor agreement. We've agreed to that, and so is our contractor. There are specific provisions in the contract around local hiring. Business inclusion plan is applicable to the project. That's all been agreed with BCA, and as part of that agreement there are strict monitoring and reporting requirements to make sure that all of our obligations are fulfilled.
She's at least fun to listen to.
But I guess my question is, how are we, the public, going to be on top of knowing that these things are fulfilled?
Because you laugh at it.
Like, do you have a dashboard? Is there going to be a website where you actually show the percentage of folks that are being hired locally and how it really, like, you have a lot of institutional support. More institutional support than you have constituent support.
Just go
but
to
if
IRL.
There's this assumption that through the
Just go to
institutional
IRL,
support,
you'll
there's a
find
lot of
it all.
constituent-based supports because they're member-based. So in order for me to go back to my constituents, it's why it was important for me to know about what's going to happen to Van Nuys Boulevard. But I also need to know, how do I also showcase to my constituents that there's a way for them to feel the impact and know that the impact also hits them. And that's related to, how are we going to have proof that you're actually hiring in Los Angeles?
There will be full transparency on all of the reports tracking our performance. And
every
that
mic
will
is
be made
feeding
public,
back
and if there's anything further
Every
that's
mic.
required in that regard, we're certainly happy to take that on.
Like, how hard is it to go all and turn down
I did have
the
another
mics
question. In
on
terms
the
of
mixer?
the last CAO report,
The fader.
I noticed
Just
that
pull
the
the
graph
fader
only
down.
goes up
The
to
one finger.
2035. Is there any way that we can get this to go up to 2055? The one that shows how much of our debt is going to be utilized for this? It goes, I see 2035, 3.64. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Is there a reason why we didn't just go all the way to 55 to really show the scope of the generational impact this is going to do?
Yes, we can certainly provide those extended projections. Yes.
Okay. All right, yeah. And then
Yeah, sounds like it to me, Sharon. Sounds like an Aussie.
I'm done with my questions.
Aussie,
This is
Aussie,
more
oi.
of a statement.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Council colleagues, I want everyone to really understand, you know, we are about to double our debt as a city. We've been responsible. We've done all these creative things, you know, to be fiscally sound. But let's call it what it is. We're about to take a big risk and double our debt for one project. One project. And it's not necessarily a project that is going to reduce our liabilities, which is the most pathetic and preventable part of our expenditures. But instead, we are really taking a risk on assumed revenues. A big risk on assumed revenues without really doing anything to address liabilities. So with that, I just want to say this to 3 council offices, to the current leaders and the future potential leaders of CD9, 14, and 1. While you guys are the ones who border this, and I have my own personal opinions about the previous group who redistricted this to make 3 different council members be in charge of downtown, it's all going to fall on us, this doubling of the debt. So at least on my behalf, as much as I try to be respectful to not intervene in other council offices' land use, this is different. Because you are doubling the debt for all of us. So do not be surprised if after what happens today, this entire council feels like we are entitled to also immerse ourselves in the conversations of how this impacts land use, jobs, as well as local support. I have been very honest with everyone who is both in the crowd today and on this council that I don't want a convention center that is going to be strictly focused on trying to bring in tourists, but that we also need to do something related to creating a space for locals, a place where locals could come and enjoy their convention and actually enjoy downtown. So I just wanted to put that out there because we are all Angelenos are going to be impacted by that doubling of this debt.
course, we always
No
are.
further questions.
And all your shitty
Councilmember
work.
Park.
Thank you, Council President. The road here has not been easy, and I certainly have not been shy about sharing my frustrations with the process and the pressures that have led us here.
I think they're going to vote no.
I also want to take a moment and commend our budget chair for her very diligent research.
Hold on. So I think they're going to vote no, and the problem with that then is everything goes away and you wasted $54 million to do nothing.
And her presentation of the concerns that we frankly all should share. We should today, as a body, be talking about an alternative plan. We should be talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in immediate investment to get this convention center ready for the Olympics. And we should be talking about the possibility, including authorizing today, hundreds of millions of dollars in future MICLA obligations to fund a real project, a big project, an important transformative project after the 2028 Olympics. I also know that some of our colleagues who should be here today to have an opportunity to discuss this and provide input
The mayor?
were denied that chance.
Where is
So
the
I have
mayor?
a few questions, and I'd like to start with DWP. So back in 2023, I
the
picked this
NIMBY.
project, sitting dead on a shelf, up and decided to try to breathe some life back into it. And at that time, I ordered the developer and our city partners to get into a room and bring us something real.
Order.
A real project with a real timeline and a real budget. So I'm curious to know from DWP, why is it only now, after all this time, that we are hearing about these concerns and additional hundreds of millions of dollars of costs that could have and should have been part of our discussions long ago? Can you explain to me the delay?
Come on, Colonel Sanders.
Let me advance to
Colonel
a
Mustard.
slide where we talk about budget. So the contractor APCLA houses the budget, and they have two different buckets of money that are going to address the relocations and the network station, and then for the circuit relocation. There's a portion of their buckets that they house under their budget that is work that we perform. So as far as the detail that we've provided back in April, we've essentially said for the items that we were asked to provide location or estimates at that time, we were at roughly 30 million based on the network station and some relocations we had to do on PICO. We knew there was still other work, but we didn't have enough information at that time, so we didn't provide any sort of cost estimate. So 30 million was what we supplied back in April of just this year. Since then, in August, because the project is picking up speed and there was definitely an urgency, more and more information was starting to get fleshed out. So we provided the estimate of roughly 96 million for our costs, and that's related to us pulling in the cable, building the network station, and doing anything related to moving our equipment so that they could build that portion of the convention center that goes across PICO. Out of that 96 million being our cost, there's also other work that the developer needed to do to be able to build the network station. So I believe there was a $166 million figure that was making it around and being discussed, but that was never our cost. Of that 166, we were 51 million of that, and then the rest of it was developer costs and overheads and construction charges. So only since April of this year have the specifics begun to be fleshed out. I believe there was a pause in February, We were told to pause the project, if I'm remembering correctly, and we didn't resume that until the end of April or May. So we did lose about maybe 3.5 months of fleshing out details. So really, to your point, it's only been since August that we're starting to identify what the major risks are. I believe moving forward, going back to 2023 and even as back as October of 24, it was all theoretical. And when it's theoretical, we throw loose numbers around and things don't start to firm themselves up until we have more detail.
Matt, we already have a convention
Thank
center.
you
They
for
want to
that,
revamp
but
it.
those loose numbers don't resemble anything near what the actual numbers are, but I do want to take a moment to pause and acknowledge I know how busy you all were in February and beyond. But this relates to another issue that I am struggling a bit with, and that is the inconsistent information that we're getting. Just today, we've heard our CAO say DWP plans to resolve certain issues in the future. I've heard you say this week, next week, in the future, we will be working to address these challenges. You know, at the end of August, it was reported that the Palisades recovery efforts were not going to be impacted by this. But then at the Budget and Finance Committee hearing, it was revealed that 18 designers might need to be moved off of projects like the Palisades. Yesterday, DWP committed to my team that moving forward on the convention center will not impact the Pacific Palisades. So I need a clear answer. Yes, it will, or no, it won't.
Understood. We did meet with your staff yesterday, and as much as we don't like to throw around the C word because people can use it against us, we did give a commitment to your office that tragedy trumps projects. As we reallocate our designers and drafters from other projects to support the convention center rebuild, those folks will not come from the Palisades rebuild, as it is a tragedy and one of our top priorities.
Thank you, and I appreciate the incredible, extraordinary work that DWP has done and I know will continue to do in the Palisades and on all of our projects. Mr. Szabo, I have heard your remarks and I don't necessarily disagree with you that deferring the project is going to make it less expensive. It's only going to cost more. But I want to point out a couple of things that give me some pause on this. Under the current project, we are going to be paying workers overtime and double time to get this done on the schedule. We've seen interest rates recently dropping. And so I wonder, is there some balance potentially? And I wonder, because we have not had an opportunity to discuss this as a council and it hasn't come up in our committees, how does the economic uncertainty swirling around the war of attrition at the ballot box impact our ability to make decisions about this? Because I haven't heard any analysis from you on any of that, and we've never even talked about it.
And by the economic uncertainty, you're talking about the risk to our gross receipts tax?
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about minimum wage ordinances. I'm talking about that entire hot mess that could have very significant impacts on our budget. So it's a two-part question. How does that impact things? And then, given that we are under the current project, we're going to be paying extra to do it fast, are we actually possibly going to save money if we were to launch the major project after the Olympics, when we don't have to pay overtime to get it done?
So a couple of things on that. On the revenue uncertainty and overall economic uncertainty, certainly the issue around the gross receipts tax, if that were to pass, I mean that without question provides tremendous risk. It would destroy the city's current financial picture far beyond our capacity to cover the debt service. I mean, we would certainly, if we enter into this agreement and we issue the debt, we will pay the debt service over anything else. We have our pension obligations and we have our debt service. We will pay our debt service. The consequences of the gross receipts tax measure would trigger dramatic, beyond draconian reductions to city services. It's nearly $1 billion that would be taken out of our budget. That exists. Whether we do this project or not, that risk exists. As it relates to this current project, and the reason that my office has come to the recommendation of a choose a path now approach, which is if we're going to do this, do it now, or make the decision not to do it and do other things with those resources, is that we've been in this process and we have expended tens of millions of dollars for the pre-construction work, for the site investigation, for the design, which of course we own. So could the project be done at a lower cost? Potentially, if it was a different project. But we have already invested $54 million to produce the plans and the pre-construction work and the design for this project.
54
So
million.
In order to take advantage of
For plans.
The investment that we've already made, we would need to build this project if we want to expand the convention center. And what I'm saying is that if you take this project as designed, 4 years later, we would absolutely expect to see construction cost increases that would far exponentially exceed the costs that are in the plan to ensure Olympic
Dude,
readiness.
his eyebrows are crazy.
All right. Council President, I do have some comments that
never
I'd like
seen
to make
eyebrows
now.
with a point.
Good time.
Okay, well, colleagues, thank you with that. And with that additional clarity, I appreciate you all being here. When I took office at the end of 2022, our tourist destinations were barely holding on by a thread, still struggling from the lingering pandemic. Shuttered businesses lined our world-famous boardwalk.
Thanks to you guys.
Hollywood was crumbling, and
Who closed them
development
down?
in downtown Los Angeles had come to a screeching halt.
Oh, the king of
Our
California.
skyline dominated by the skeletons of half-finished towers. Our city was in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, and investors and developers were fleeing from the LA market. But our convention center, along our city's signature venue, a place where the world comes together for business and culture and innovation and opportunity, continued to hold its own, despite those distressing economic challenges. We all know that the convention center is a cornerstone of our tourism economy, a gateway for international visitors, and a driver of thousands of local jobs. But we also know it hasn't kept up with the demands of a competitive global marketplace. Every year, we lose tens of millions of dollars in economic opportunity to other cities with better facilities, and that means our hotels and our restaurants and our local businesses suffer, and so does our city's general fund as those tax revenues diminish. As chair of Trade, Travel, and Tourism, I wanted to change that. I wanted to clean up our city, get us ready for the Olympics, and start driving investment back into Los Angeles. I knew that investing in us, in our local jobs, in our local business community, and in our own city's amenities and assets would be a big step in the right direction. And in my IATSE household, I can confirm from personal experience how badly needed the jobs are. So in 2023, I launched this effort to modernize our convention center. I want to show the world that that LA is investing in LA, and that they should too. I want to support our mayor's vision for this project, and I want to see downtown LA thriving, because if it does, the rest of our city has a better chance to thrive too. Colleagues, no project is ever without risk, and this project has plenty. My support today is not a blank check, though. I've read Article 17 of the project agreement, and I am familiar with the termination provisions. I will be watching every expenditure on this project going forward closely, and I know some others on this council will too. So let me be clear, especially to those of you at the table. I do not want to be back here in 6 months or 12 months or 2 years hearing about more price increases. I don't want to hear about claims or relief events. I don't want to hear about delays or labor disputes, and I don't want to see finger pointing between the city and the developer, period. If we are going to do this, I expect nothing but full-throttled participation and cooperation from every entity involved. And while I have deep reservations about the process that led us here, and I have very serious concerns about the economic climate, I have always fundamentally believed in this mission, and I still do today. The jobs and economic opportunities this investment will create are real. It will make our laborers more valuable, and it focuses spending on real things that make LA really cool. This project will be transformative for downtown, and I truly believe the catalyst for future investment and redevelopment. We need to bring our city back to life, and with world events looming, we don't have time to wait. So let's uplift our city, our workforce, our business community, and let's invest in making LA the modern world-class city that it should be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Council.
Stop with the clapping.
Thank you, Councilmember Park. Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you so much. And I've had the opportunity to follow this issue for a number of months.
Right.
And listened closely to the hearings and the detailed discussion. I want to thank all of my colleagues, everyone who's at the table, the departments, as well as the public for engaging so deeply in this conversation. I will say, you know, I am the chair of the Housing and Homelessness Committee, and over the last few months, especially since this new federal administration, but also because of changes in state funding allocations for local responses to housing and homelessness, I have been deeply alarmed by some of the numbers that I'm seeing in terms of the amount of funding that our region is going to lose and our city is going to lose to keep people who are already housed, that we struggle to house, that we spent a lot of money putting into shelters and into housing, and finally turned around for the first time over the last 2 years, a trend that was resulting in sharp increases in homelessness. For the first time over the last 2 years, we've actually seen significant decreases in the numbers of people living on the streets of Los Angeles.
What a liar.
But all of that may be set to change.
1,100 people they've housed. 1,100.
And it's scary to me. We have 3,000 people who are currently on time-limited subsidy slots who can no longer continue on those slots because of funding cuts, who need an approximate $70 million to keep them in housing, an obligation that will taper off a bit, but will still be needed years into the future. We have 3,000 people just in the city of Los Angeles in emergency housing vouchers, which the federal government is no longer funding, and we will need $190 million to keep them in housing through 2030. We have a gap in meeting our court-ordered obligations for shelter that is $50 million next year and continues well into the future.
No more welfare money.
And a continuing cost for maintaining our existing investments in shelter that is an annual obligation of hundreds of millions of dollars, which we've funded so far largely from state allocations, HAP allocations. Those have been cut and are uncertain into the future. and with a new governor, we have no idea whether those dollars will come back. Based on language released by HUD just last week, it is likely that there will be a $180 million funding gap from HUD for funding thousands of permanent supportive housing units that union labor built, by the way. But we don't have the money, potentially, to fund the vouchers needed to keep those people in their housing. I'm really scared about the future. And I'm really scared about the enormous, I mean, really flabbergasting numbers that I see in front of me, the gaps that we have ahead. These are people that we have already housed, and we will need this money just to keep them in housing. This is not addressing future homelessness in this city. All of which this deal in front of us potentially prevents us from addressing. And what I fear is that we're going to have a beautiful new convention center surrounded by far more homelessness than we have today, which will drive away tourists, which will prevent people from coming here and holding their events here. All of this is happening at a time of incredible uncertainty, and I just want to remind everybody, I know we've heard it, but I want to remind everyone again. The last two FSRs have shown significant softening in our revenue projections. We have enormous liability risk. That has not gone away. We can expect to see settlement payouts into the future, partly because of basic services that we have not invested in. Our crumbling sidewalks are leading to enormous liability payments. And when our federal international diplomatic posture and our federal visa policies could result in even fewer tourists coming, a huge source of our local revenues. When tariffs could increase costs for this project, some of which we are on the hook for. When we are likely to have on the ballot something that will take away $800 million of general fund revenues, when there's a statewide ballot measure that could take out ULA, which is our source for funding for rental relief and rental support in an affordable housing crisis. But not just ULA, it could take away our ability to impose any transfer taxes at all. This is a complicated project. This is an interdepartmental effort. And what I've seen in all this uncertainty is that I don't see certainty from inside the building either. We should have had questions from DWP that were much clearer in the two budget and finance hearings that we had already. We should have had those answers months ago. We should have had clarity on who was driving forward the interdepartmental jurisdictional coordination that we needed to get to this moment, to have this conversation that we're having today, but we haven't had that. And even if we say today, let's find who that coordinator is, it will take us time to find that person, and I don't know where in the city that person is. I don't know where in the public that person is. And I just want to say this has happened at a time when we've had really significant delays for really basic projects in my district, really basic, because there is no departmental capacity. Where is it going to come from? How are we going to do the enormous tasks that are asked of us by this? The cost of big investments in Los Angeles does not scare me. I dream big for this city. I cheer big investments on, whether it's public housing built by union labor, whether it's a new rail line connecting the valley and the city through and the central city through the Sepulveda Pass, also built by union labor. I believe in downtown LA. I want to invest in a new convention center, but we do have an opportunity. We have an opportunity today to pause, to make sure we understand these risks, to understand the context in which we're operating. This is an unprecedented federal environment that we're operating in that is cutting unprecedented amount of dollars from our local investments. I'm telling you, permanent supportive housing vouchers are gone. Section 8 vouchers could be gone. These are the bedrocks of federal funding for our housing and homelessness system for years.
Oscar,
these could be gone.
Is your picture
Let's
stinks?
take a moment to ensure that the project that we're investing in for downtown LA, which I 100% believe in and support, ensures our collective success as a city. I don't believe we're doing that today, and I cannot support that as we move forward. It is just not fiscally responsible. It is not the right thing to do for Los Angeles. It is not the right thing to do for residents of Los Angeles, especially the most vulnerable. I also wanted to say that I sincerely appreciate all the voices that we've heard from today, but in my district, I have not heard from a single constituent of Council District 4 who has asked me to support this project. But in the time that we were having these discussions, I did receive a number of emails about failing city services and from constituents who are dealing with eviction notices and job loss and desperately seeking the city's help to stay afloat. Moving ahead with this project, both because of the enormous fiscal resources that we'll be committing to it and the departmental resources that we're going to be committing to it, I fear that to all of my constituents, I will not be able to offer that help and support. I hope that's not the case, but I fear that it is based on what I'm seeing today. I want to dream big for LA. I think there is a project that we can put together that accounts for our existing capacity, that accounts for the money that we're likely to get and that accounts for the incredible losses that our region is sure to face over these next few years, this is not it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Padilla.
That was fast. I thought more people would talk, but okay.
There's going to be plenty of talking. We're good. Yes.
So then don't I go second after everyone's talk?
I'm taking it in the order I got it.
Okay. Well, I want to make a motion that the CAO and the CLA give us quarterly reports to track the local hire compliance and to make sure that in the event of a labor shortage, our contractor will use the hiring hall agreement to supplement the workforce. Can I get a second?
Seconded by Councilmember Park. Councilmember Hernandez. All right. Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues,
there he is.
The project before us has been over a decade in the makings. The LA Convention Center modernization. Since my first day as a representative of the Nunai, I've worked, in fact, with many of you in here, towards making this project a reality. And 12 years later, we finally have a vote before us. Now, that wouldn't have been possible without the work of so many people, and I want to thank everyone, first of all, who's here today, who came out to show their support and who've expressed concerns. Without the strong support of labor and the downtown community, this vote would not be possible. I also want to thank our city departments for your tireless work on this project, especially the CAO, the CLA, and to my council colleagues, especially the council president, who's bringing this motion forward, and also the very thoughtful comments from our budget chair. And I appreciated her perspective and those of my colleagues as well. We've talked about this project for years. We've done the plans, we've done the studies, but there have always been excuses for not moving forward. In the time we've debated this project, of course, the costs have continued to increase. And in the meantime, conventions that should have come here have gone elsewhere, jobs that should have been created here have slipped away, and every year we stall, LA loses. We lose revenue, we lose opportunity, and we lose our place as a city that could get things done. Well, folks, I don't think we can afford to wait another decade. We just can't. Yes, we have to be careful with taxpayer dollars, but the truth is, doing nothing is the most expensive choice of all. Inaction has a price, and we're paying it every single day. LA deserves better. Our workers deserve better. Our businesses deserve better. Our tourism industry deserves better. And our future depends on us doing better. We've studied, we've debated, and we've delayed. But it's time to move forward and to move from talk to action. So I urge you an aye vote today on the amending motions before us to move this project forward and to finally create a 21st century world-class convention center that our city so richly deserves. Thank you, Mr. President.
Want that money.
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez.
You big dummy.
Oh,
colleagues, I've always said I'm a believer in long-term solutions and vision. So much of what we fight for, whether it's building affordable housing, expanding unarmed crisis response, investing in youth, or strengthening tenant protections, all of it takes years to bear fruit. And please, don't praise me when I say this. Today I'm voting yes on the convention center expansion because I believe Los Angeles deserves to bet on itself. Please, no, I'm not.
Please, folks.
This is an incredibly difficult vote. And I don't say that for praise, I say that so you know where I stand. This is probably one of the top 3 most difficult votes I've taken as a council member. And I don't take it lightly, I'm not looking for praise. For too long, we've looked at our city's future with cynicism. We say it's too expensive, it's too complicated, or too late. Let me tell you how many times as a council member we've had to clean up the work of the dereliction of duty that has happened here in City Hall because they have not taken action. So yes, I'm pissed because we always have to do this. We've been having to clean up messes for a long time. But when we choose optimism and long-term solutions-oriented thinking, we unlock what's possible. And let me be crystal clear. I expect us and our labor partners to bring this same optimism and fervor to other people and other parts of our city. If this council can rally behind boldness for this project, then I expect us to bring that same energy to protecting city workers, working families, and all communities in the city of Los Angeles. I will not allow for the convention to be a world-class convention center while the rest of the city looks like Gotham City. I will not allow it. I'm voting yes today, but trust and believe I'm not going to stop fighting like hell for our basic city services. Fast city services, clean streets, safe sidewalks, working streetlights. We cannot afford billion-dollar ambitions for business interests while leaving people waiting a year for a streetlight to get fixed. So yes, I'm betting on this project today, but I will hold every department, every leader, and every budget cycle accountable to making sure the rest of LA is not left behind, because we do that year after year. It takes us 15 years to trim a tree in this city. The industry standard is 5 years. We didn't get here by accident. We're here because we have not invested in those things. And investing in that project means that we will have difficult decisions ahead of us. But the hope that I have, and the reason why I'm voting yes, is because I know that there are people around this horseshoe who are incredibly smart, diligent, solutions-oriented, that will do the work to find new money and new revenue. Because we can't keep messing with the same general fund revenue. It goes up and down, it doesn't grow, and we will do the work under your leadership, Councilmember Yaroslavsky. I know that we will find new money, and it will be OPM, other people's money, because we can't keep putting this on the back of our constituents. And that's why I fought so hard in the last budget cycle, and best believe I will bring that same energy year after year, because I will not let us sacrifice our city workers and our city services. This project is not without risk, but I believe the cost of doing nothing is greater. This is a generational investment. The decisions that we make today will shape the city our kids will inherit. And I don't want us to be remembered as a council that didn't make the investment into our city. I don't want us to be the council known as not doing the work, because we have been doing the work and cleaning up the dereliction of duty that has been going on here for years. I'm voting yes because I believe in the future of Los Angeles. But colleagues, if we can move mountains for this, then we better not lose our nerve when it comes to housing, tenant protections, city services, city workers, immigrant communities that are being kidnapped right now, and the departments and neighborhoods that have been waiting decades for investment. Boldness cannot be selective.
There it is.
It has to be for everyone in Los Angeles, not just for one interest. You better believe I intend to hold us to the same standard.
Thank you. Councilmember McCosker to close.
Old Buckethead, huh?
Thank you, Mr. President.
The jack-o'-lantern,
I want to
everybody.
thank you for your words at the beginning of this discussion, because this is how democracy happens. I think I've said a few times when we're in the middle of a hot debate that, man, I love a great debate. And this has been the best. Councilmember Yaroslavsky, I so respect every single word you said. I understand every risk you've described. I appreciate everything you brought to this discussion. I remain on the other side, but my deep and abiding respect for you and my commitment to work with you in budget and finance as we move forward is, if you are willing to accept it, is unconditional. Councilmember Park, your leadership on tourism and your commitment to tourism and the tough decision and words you gave today just show how committed you are to your community, and your community includes the wider community of the entire city. I think everything you said, I look forward to supporting your leadership on trade and tourism. Councilmember Padilla, you were right to call out, this is an important moment. We are at 2% on our budget. 2% of our budget is committed to our debt, and we are doubling that to 4%. We have and that's important to call out.
Oh, he's glazing
it's important
big
that
time.
we stay on top of that. We do have a very conservative, appropriately conservative limit of 6%. And so we have headroom, but we can't pretend like you know, we can't be a bunch of drunken sailors and pretend like we can do this again. It's going to be 30 years of buying this down. Councilmember Hernandez, I even hesitated to speak after hearing everything you said. And I am sorry that I take away from the power of your words by standing up here now. And I think everyone in this room and everyone on this council needs to be committed to the clarion call that you just gave. And I appreciate that very much. I do want to make a couple of
there goes the double
very
Clinton thumbs.
Small but I think important points.
Give me those Clinton
We
thumbs.
do have 15D in front of us.
Not have sexual
and one of the
relations
things
with
that
that woman.
15D does, besides correct the numbers and call for approval of the project, it does have an instruction for the city project executive or project manager. And I agree with you, Commissioner Rahman, that everything takes time. And this is a hell of a time for us to get around to doing this. But we do this, and we need to move quickly, and we need to move expeditiously. It does call for a weekly written or oral update to both the mayor's office and the council office, ensuring full transparency. I appreciate, Councilmember Padilla, that you called out very expressly the local hire. I think that's critically important, and I think this is also, and I'm going to support your amendment, but I think this is also an opportunity for us to, on a weekly basis, to check in on how it's going and make sure people understand. And this can't be one of these moments where we say, hey, check in with us and keep the council advised, and then 6 months later we find out that we're behind schedule or over budget. I think that this discussion tells us that everyone is going to be laser focused on it. So again, I just thank everybody for their insightful comments, for their intellectual integrity in this conversation. And I'm going to urge that we respect every single comment that was made by every single person, because there is not a single person around this horseshoe that doesn't have the best interests of the community, which includes labor, which includes business, which includes the future, which includes folks that don't make it to the table because they're underrepresented. And with that, Mr. President, I'm just going to call the question.
Thank you, Mr. Nazarian. Now the question has been called. I think, Mr. McCoskey, it inspired a couple more people to push their buttons to speak. So I'm going to call on those folks, and then we'll go to a vote. Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you, Council President. I very much appreciate everything Councilmember McCosker said. In fact, I was writing down notes so that I could address or attempt to address, in all humility, some of the concerns. But he did a phenomenal job. I was also waiting for Mr. Lee to speak before I spoke, because I so appreciate the fact that he took time away from a major life milestone event to be here today. That's how important this was, and I appreciate that. Council President, you actually said it very well when you framed it. This is a critically important decision that we're making, and thank you for setting that right tone. Colleagues, I wrote down 2 pages of notes that I was going to read. So I'll condense it to this. I came in here knowing that I'm going to support this, because I want to double down on the future of Los Angeles.
Rest in peace.
Think of the investment you're making, whether it's buying a home or it's investing in a business. You have trepidation, you have fear, you have concern. You have no idea how you're going to make that big investment, but you know you're going to finance it over the years. And you know that over the course of the next 30 years, there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be challenges, but you invest in yourself because you know you're going to do better over time and be able to continue paying down that debt, maybe even before 30 years are up. If we're not here to believe in ourselves, who's going to believe in us? If we don't invest in ourselves today, How are we going to be able to go and ask the major investors around the world to come in and invest in us? Others want to see us invest in ourselves so that they follow suit. There's a money multiplier effect. There's the labor to business ecosystem, and there's the reinvesting of ourselves in difficult times. You look at our country's history, whether it was Civil War, right after that Reconstruction era, First World War, the Great Depression, every single time our country has faced devastating times, we've followed up by doubling down on ourselves, not crawling back into a dark space. So I'm not going to read the rest of these notes because it's, at this point, foregone conclusion, it seems, from everyone's comment. But I very much appreciate the humility in everyone's voice.
Thank you, Con.
And I look forward to moving forward with this project. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Jurado, and then we'll start calling votes.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I know today this is a real difficult choice for a lot of us. And I hear a lot of what all of our colleagues have to say about the concerns and the risks. And I, too, go into this with open eyes, but also ones that are very, very critical. But at the same time, trying to be hopeful. Our city has faced a series of difficult decisions and circumstances this past year. But with this convention center, we must take bold action and invest in projects that don't just cost money, but actually make us money, because projects that strengthen our economy, lift up working families, and build strong communities that Angelenos deserve. Because behind this project are people. People we see every day, some of whom are right here with us today. The hotel housekeeper who wants to provide stability for their family, the carpenter who helped build this city, the small business owner who keeps their dream alive while serving their community. You know, it's not lost on me that the convention center is an asset that directly benefits some council districts over others. I hear that. But colleagues, I'm committed to making sure that this project is a success, and the decision before us is not unlike any other decision that other cities take on. Other cities that are smaller, their whole economy revolves around the mall, the mall in their town, the college that's in their town, or even a certain industry. But here in Los Angeles, we have the luxury of not relying on a single industry because we have a whole host of them. Silicon Beach, tourism, Hollywood. You know, we are Union Town, but the truth of the matter is those industries are struggling. And like any other city, we need an asset that we can have to anchor our economy. And at the end of the day, our budget, our fiscal problems, our financial problems at the city aren't just about spending, which we're trying to curb and fix and make sure there's accountability of certain departments that are bleeding us dry. And I count on the leadership of our Budget and Finance Committee to make sure that we continue to curb the spending that is needless in the city and draining us. But at the same time, if you don't have enough money coming through the door, it doesn't matter how much spending you curb, you have nothing. And so I think an investment in the convention center helps us to revive our economy and fix our revenue problem. And I'll be happy to lead and work with Councilmember Yaroslavsky, Councilmember Hernandez, to think of other revenue generation options that the convention center can lead to and that our city can start doing so that we actually have enough income to make sure we have the city's services throughout the city. This project is one that's complicated and has a lot of stakeholder support. And for me, it's not just labor, it's not just business, it's also a lot of my constituents. Unlike many of you, I've gotten emails, texts, calls, DMs,
every single day since spring about how this is super necessary, and I've kicked the tires with them. And at the end of the day, I'm voting with my constituents because I do believe in downtown, and a strong downtown with its revenues lower than the expected 30% because of these struggling industries needs this anchor in our communities to make sure we can rise again and rise to the occasion. And so, colleagues, I'm asking for an aye vote on this project because it's about lifting up the entire city. And if we want a balanced budget and a thriving city, we need to invest. The 30-year mortgage that people buy with a house, they don't have the cash up front. They put a down payment and a dream and stability of a good union job to make sure that they get to the 30 years. And you know,
how much is the union paying her?
And at the end of those 30 years, what happens? I know what happened. I became a council member and there was a $20,000 bill for the roof of our house, which I didn't pay for. I didn't pay for that house. And now the foundation needs to be fixed. Didn't pay the bill either? And guess what I have to do? I have to finance it again, to maintain it, to make it better for the next generations behind us. And I believe that this is what our responsibility is, and the time is now, and that's the future we can build if we're willing to invest in it. And so that's why I'm voting yes on the convention center. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, what is before us?
We're cooked.
Mr. Lee.
Because they're going to vote yes. We're cooked.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll make this short. I just want to say, Councilman Nazarian, I heard your comments, and I appreciate that. My family, they understand the job that I do. Well, most of my family. I know that everyone here around this horseshoe was struggling with this project. I, along with all of you, have been weighing the pros and cons of what we are about to invest in and take a look down the road. I've said before, we have an opportunity in the city to highlight the city with the World Cup, the Olympics, where we will be not on a national stage, we will be on a worldwide stage. And this is our opportunity to make this investment and show the world when they come to visit Los Angeles, that Los Angeles is a city that they want to visit when they go back home and tell people that this is a city that they want to tell other people to come visit. So this is an investment that I know is hard for a lot of people. And I wanted to be here because I wanted to make sure that this was a successful vote because of the union jobs that it creates, the 8,000 jobs, the 1,600 apprentice jobs, all those different things that stimulate our economy with local hiring and people that it's going to affect, but really all the Angelenos. This is going to be that critical economic engine, not only for downtown, like some said, but for the entire city of Los Angeles. And for that, colleagues, I urge an aye vote today on this.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, Council may now vote on item 15E, and that is motion Padilla Park Hernandez.
All right, let's open the roll on 15E as an elephant. Councilmember Yaroslavsky, you have 15E is the
15E
local
is
hire?
an instruction to CAO, CLA to provide quarterly reports tracking local hiring compliance for the convention center and expansion, and also to instruct CAO and CLA to ensure that in the event of a labor shortage, the contractor will use hiring hall agreement to supplement the workforce.
All right, let's open the roll on that amendment. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Next would be motion 15D, and that is motion Harris-Dawson, McCosker, Hutt, Price, Nazarian, Hirado, as with the 15B revisions in the figures.
All right, let's open the roll on that item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 2 noes.
All right, what's next?
Next would be 15C, and that is motion Gerardo Price, which amends 15D.
All right, let's open the roll on that item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
And would council like this item to go forthwith, sir?
Without objection, urgent
that
forthwith?
requires a urgent forthwith
right.
requires a vote.
All right, let's open the roll on urgent forthwith, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Would council like to adjourn the special meeting and reconvene the regular meeting, sir?
Let's adjourn the special meeting and call the roll for the regular meeting.
Yes, sir.
Folks, we've still got business to get through here, and we got to get Mr. Lee off, so if you can help us, oblige us, and let us
clapping.
go through without applause. Madam Clerk?
Yes, so roll call for the regular meeting. Blumenfield, Harris, Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt,
Yeah, they got what they
Lee,
wanted.
McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park.
2 voted no.
Bauman, Rodriguez,
13 voted yes.
Yaroslavsky, 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, what's before us, Madam Clerk?
What is before council at this time is that would be item 12.
Mr. McCosker?
President, I have an amendment on item 12. Can I just read the amendment into the record? The amendment would be, 1, adopt the CAO reports as written, except that recommendations 2 and 3 in the August 22, 2025 report shall be amended as follows. Number 2, below that, request the
Gamblers,
city
that's what
attorney's
they are.
office to
Gamblers with
prepare
other
and
people's
present a
money.
fund ordinance to create
Worst kind
new
of gambler.
special funds to receive proceeds and record accounting transactions in connection with the Series 2025 bonds, and to return that ordinance back by September 24, 2025. And then a new 3 beneath that, request the city attorney's office to prepare and present a leaseback ordinance to approve a lease and sublease between the city and Mikla of certain real properties and improvements thereon in connection with the Series 2025 bonds, and return that ordinance back by September 24, 2025. And then 2, sub 2, note and file the budget and finance report as written. I'll ask for a second.
Second.
Why does it take $54 million for the
All
plans?
right, this has been moved and seconded.
Yes.
54 million
sir,
for
right
plans?
Now, council
That seems
has
excessive.
before it,
Even 20
that
million
would be
seems excessive.
12A as amended by Mr. McCosker and seconded by Council President Harris Dawson.
All right, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
And the next vote,
Councilmember Yaroslavsky
Needs to put it
needs
back
to be
on.
recorded as a no vote.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's why these people say what they say about the
Madam Clerk,
union,
what's
this,
next?
that, and the other, and then the union cheers.
so just,
all just
for
kickbacks,
the
for
record,
sure. Getting
the
kickbacks. Without
vote
a
that
doubt.
just occurred now is 12A, and that is motion Harris Dawson, McCosker, Hutt, Price, seconded by Councilmember Nazarian, as further amended by
Only one person was
motion
truly against it.
McCosker, Harris Dawson.
That was Yaroslavsky.
Okay. And
Okay,
then,
so Councilmembers
She was the only one.
and Yaroslavsky want to be recorded as no votes?
so just for the record, so this vote is now 12-2.
All right.
No,
what's
no.
next?
Patriot,
Would-
that's already spent.
Next would be.
That's why if they voted no on this, they would have wasted
11-2. We only have
$54
13
million.
people. 11-2.
Just burnt up with a lighter.
I'm so sorry.
No plan,
11-2.
no nothing
It's been a
done.
long day.
We got all
Okay,
this
so
planned
it's
out,
11-2.
and nothing ever came of it. So they wanted to push forward and not lose the $54 million, but that would require them to now be on the hook for $2 billion
Mr. President, would
of other
council
people's
like,
money
to
that we
take
don't
a
have.
vote to have 12 go urgent?
And
for
if this
fifth,
goes
sir?
wrong, and
Yes,
like,
this is
like
urgent
she was saying, if
forthwith
things
on
go
item
wrong,
12 as
the
amended.
economy
Let's
takes a
open the
further
roll,
shit.
Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Yeah. Some other sham gimmick
13
comes
ayes.
along. Oh
All right,
boy.
what's next?
Oh boy.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred.
Desk is clear, sir.
All right, we have a few announcements beginning with Councilmember Hernandez.
Special Transportation and Public Works Committee meeting is canceled for today.
All right, Councilmember McCosker.
Other meeting is
A point of
canceled.
order or
Took too
clarification.
long.
What are we doing with item 11?
Everybody's leaving.
11,
We're all
no
walking
action was taken on that in as much as item 11 was considered in the special meeting as item 15, sir.
So item 11 is completed, is disposed.
Yes, because
Thank you.
it's a repeat of what happened in the special.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you for that, Mr. McCosker. Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you, Council President. I want to invite all of you to join me for CD2 Lung Day tomorrow, September 20th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Our Lady of the Holy Rosary Church on Vineland Avenue. This is a free community health event focused on clean air and healthy lungs. I happen to be asthmatic, so if you are sensitive to winds and various different environmental circumstances, please come in and take advantage of the programs offered, as well as free products. We'll be offering free lung screenings for cancer and COPD, a family asthma management workshop, and important resources on lung health and air quality. There will also be activities for both kids and adults. I'm especially excited to share that we'll also be giving out free air purifiers to help families breathe a little easier.
What did that
at
cost?
home.
Free
Thank
air
you.
purifiers.
Thank you so
for
much. As a
everybody.
fellow asthmatic, Mr. Nazarian, I thank you greatly for that announcement. Mr. Price.
Yeah, today sucked.
As many of you know, Central Avenue Jazz Festival is turning 30 this year, and I can't wait to see you at the event tomorrow. This milestone has really ignited a lot of excitement. The media's been buzzing, and we've been thrilled to be able to share South LA as a gym.
You got Gregory Porter? Sorry.
Yes.
Big dummy.
Oh, sorry.
Greg Porter, that's a big deal. Go ahead. Sorry.
What makes it special is that it's not only was free, but it's a community event. It's more than just jazz, it's an experience where kids, families, longtime jazz lovers, even folks who are new to the music can come and have some fun. You'll hear Grammy award-winning talent. Families can take advantage of health screenings. It's a celebration of community as much as it is of music. So be there or be square.
The jazz
Make
ensemble.
sure that you
This
know
looks like the
everyone's
Catalina
invited,
wine mixer.
with this invitation.
Thank you so much.
As you know, tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m.,
Why you
11
saying that?
to 7 p.m.,
Wow.
celebrating 30 years of jazz, and it's all free.
All right. Councilmember Jurado.
And I want to invite you all to a very special event, our end of summer celebration happening tomorrow, Saturday, September 20th from 4:30 to 8:30 at Herman Park. We're lighting up the sky with a spectacular drone show, plus an evening packed with light
Mr.
music,
Herman's
arts
got his
and
own
crafts,
park?
local
Hey,
vendors,
Mr.
and family
Herman.
fun. It's free and open to everyone. You don't want to miss
Knew he
it.
was special.
We've got it all. You'll
His
be
own
hearing
park.
from amazing local talent like DJ Crazy, repping El Sereno, the Always Electric Cumbia Band, Betty's Mustache, and the fabulous 80s cover band Open for Business.
Betty's
So come
Mustache.
out, bring your family and friends, and celebrate the end of the summer with CD14 at Herman Park.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to second the Jazz Festival and the new Ninth. I've been there the last few years. I'm going to miss it this year. Sorry,
The
Councilman
new
Price, but
Ninth.
it's always
What
a
the
great
fuck
time.
happened?
For my
Still the
members
same
of
old
the
shithole.
Civil Rights
What's new
Committee,
about it?
We'll start at 2:15. Give ourselves a little break between now and then. 2:15.
All right. Any other announcements, members? All right. Seeing none, I'll ask everyone in the chambers to rise for adjourning motions.
That's it. Hopefully there's
We have
none.
Mr. Price with an adjourning motion.
I don't care about an adjourning motion. He's going to tell us about his friend who might have passed away, or someone who needs this or that, and they've been great to the city. I don't care. I don't care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 3 hours and 3 minutes. Sheesh. All for this shit. And this was the worst show I think we've ever done. 3 hours and 3 minutes, and I cut an hour and 15 minutes out for you. Just remember that. It was an hour was 76 minutes to be exact that I cut out for you and started late. So 4 hours back and forth. Of course they wanted to do this. They wanted to do this from the beginning, and they kicked the fucking can down the road. You know what I mean? And they kicked the can down the road. Oh, they haven't uttered his name, and they won't, Star Cruz. They won't. You notice how they put in Kimmel there. They didn't mention his name, but they mentioned the situation. Where are they, Tons? I don't know where the carvings are at. You gotta send me a link or something. Send me a message on one of the things with the link. I'll repost. Oh, no, thank you guys. I'm sorry that was such a shitty meeting. You notice that just like police chases, these meetings have gotten progressively worse. And they had the audacity to talk about free speech and this, that, and the other, and how somebody just lost their show because of it. But yet every single day in here, they stomp on everybody's free speech. Can't say the N-word, can't say the C-word, right? Not that I use those words much, if ever. But just saying, if somebody else wants to use them, they're not using it in a threatening manner, that's free speech. That is. So for you to come out and say that after you've been doing it since day one, since Marqueef got there, day fucking one, okay, day one, all this shit changed. Because you notice with Krikorian as president, you had the telephonic comments. You didn't have any banning of any words. You had a lot more people coming down to speak. Okay, he didn't tell you, well, I'm going to give you 25 minutes. You never heard that. You really didn't from Krikorian, as much as I don't like him. You never heard that from him. Yeah, stop clapping. It is what it is. We're done when we're done. That's how it was. That's the way it should be. We're done when we're done. When we get through all the people talking, that's when we're done. So, yeah. Hold on a second. Are we off for a whole... Why would we... Hold on a second. The next meeting is scheduled for Friday, September 25th, 10 a.m. So you're telling me that they're off the whole week? Like, other than Friday? Is that what we're getting here? So I guess we'll be back here on Friday, and it'll be another bullshit where there's a whole another hour and 15 hour, 30 minute of them knee bending to everybody. Did you see that? All right, Beej. See you tonight. You see that? That's what I'm thinking, Beej. Like, what holiday is it? Why the fuck are they off? Weren't they just off what did they just have off? I know they just had a couple weeks off. I know they did. I don't know what it was for. You think it's for Rosh Hashanah? I doubt it, but maybe. I mean, I believe there's only 2 folks that are Jewish on the council, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, they just take off so much time. And you figure to yourself you'd be there every day if the city's in shambles. She told you the city's like shit. She told you that the city services suck. She said it herself. I didn't say it. She said it. So it is Rosh Hashanah. Okay. So that's why I'm guessing they're taking off for it. Okay. Makes sense, I guess, for those 2 days. But, yeah, we'll be back Friday. And you know it'll be. Same bullshit, and hopefully by then we'll get our regulars back. But even then, there's so many presentations. It really takes up most of the show. It sucks. I think we did it right, though. I think we did it right. That just cutting out that fat, because I couldn't imagine having to sit through another hour and 15 minutes of this shit. I couldn't. and then having to do another show later. Fuck that. All right, guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for hanging out. I know it wasn't a good one, but I guess they all can't be fucking winners, right? Got to have a bad show that makes the other good ones so good. Enjoy your Friday, especially if you aren't going to join us tonight. Be safe out there. Come join us on the next one. Other than that, we will be live tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time, so please adjust to your time zone. Keep the notifications on because you know in 8 minutes from now there could be a police chase and I have to hop back right in here. So keep the notos on. Other than that, thank you for the likes, the love, the donos. The thumbs ups work and they are free. I will see you guys a little later. On behalf of Stink Bomb and myself, we're out of here.
This party is officially over.
See you guys. I'm going home.
Bye.